Sims and Leon, your mom's favorite podcast. Trust me, I'm a mom.
All right, welcome back, guys. So just going to jump right in because I was pretty intrigued after last episode. I jumped on to the comment section because we were talking about the comments and about jack off.
For the ad page we did for the leaky episode.
Yes. And I remember talking about jack off, and I just kind of wanted to know what was going on and who.
Like, you wanted to see his comments and stuff that he posted.
I wanted to see his memes and all of that. And I wanted to see who Jack Off was. Yes, and he was. But I have to say, I got quite a good laugh out of y'all's comments back to him as well. Y'all are very respectful and encouraging, but yet still very like, bro, find another hobby. Like, your hobby's kind of sad.
It's very passive aggressive.
It is, and that's my favorite part about it.
And it's fun. It's passive aggressive, and I know he's going to respond every time. Like we said before, we talked about this over and over.
So the sad part is on my end, though, it doesn't show his responses. On my end, when I was looking, it only shows y'all's responses. So it really just looks. So it only shows like the relevant ones. So like on Facebook, you know how it shows.
You can click see all comments.
You can, but when you just kind of like show the expansion, it shows just the relevant ones. But y'all are the only relevant people talking, and so it literally just shows y'all just kind of like shit talking him, like without him saying anything back.
This jack off has made himself irrelevant, is what you're saying.
A little bit, yeah. It's proof that he's not relevant in any way. But
so we sponsored that by our number one sponsor of this show, Elena.
Yep.
And she's joining us today for this recording.
Hey, how are y'all? Happy to be here.
Thanks. And thanks for getting on the microphone with us today.
Absolutely.
So while I was searching through those and finding it, like those hysterical, just like the comments and the interaction between the two of y'all, one, going to his page and actually, because I had a visual of what he looked like, and then actually seeing the true him, it was not what I pictured, but like more power to him, and good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, so what'd you picture? That's what I want.
Yeah, let's not say what you actually saw, but what did you picture?
I pictured a guy in his behind a keyboard. No, just like behind a keyboard. I pictured like someone like from the quintessential
like the big
troller.
fat guy from South Park. He's just
the quintessential like troller, like beard, like kept beard, like scraggly, not fully like there's patchy, like has a lot of crap around his desk.
Like that room smells.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah, with like there's laundry in the corner for sure. Hasn't washed his sheets in a long time. That's what I picture.
What you picture.
So grimy is the word.
Grimy.
Oh, grimy. Yeah. That's a good word. So he wasn't grimy.
So no, but also like the quintessential like keyboard warrior that like goes on and just like wants to tear everybody else down because the place he's at is just not as he knows he's not in a good place. So if I make everyone else lesser, then it elevates him, and that's what I pictured.
And honestly, I don't think Jackoff is trying to do that. I think he is literally just trying to have fun himself.
Yeah,
that's the way I get it. I feel like he's doing it.
But why have fun at someone else's expense? Like, why have fun? Because the thing is, y'all responded, and it's fun now. But
and that's why I think
started
it's fun.
it, though. But to go on somebody's thing where like he knows that y'all are starting this new thing, and y'all are trying to push it out, and y'all are enjoying it. This is something that y'all wanted to do. It's a passion for y'all. He's like, this is trash. Like, you know what, buddy?
I agree with you. But I would also like to think that because I engaged the way I engaged with him,
now it's only fun.
It's like now he's doing it just because he knows it's fun. I don't think he would have continued to bombard every post.
Right.
If it wasn't for me acknowledging
I agree
him.
with that.
And, you know,
the secondary part
I
of it.
hope that's how he is. I hope that's how he is. Are you looking at his comments, Elena?
Yeah, so I had to figure out what y'all are looking at here, and I think I found what y'all are looking at, and it looks like there's 166 comments.
There should be 300 comments.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. I might be on the wrong chain. Well, there's 300 total, but just him. I'm talking about just him.
Yeah, 300 total. Majority of all him.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And my thing is, it's like the first one though is like that's the like for me, it's someone reaching out. It takes no time or effort just to scroll. If you don't like it, then continue scrolling.
You don't like it,
I do appreciate you like leaving some type of mark on it because the algorithm doesn't care if it's good or bad. It just cares that there's a comment. The algorithm doesn't care that it says it doesn't pick up like, oh, this is trash. Oh, well, it's a bad comment. Let me negative points you. No, like the algorithm picks up the fact that you're getting comments and it looks good.
It looks good.
And the fact that you have 168 between him, like that makes it even look like this one blew up and the algorithm's like, good, let's push this one further. thank you so much for doing exactly what I wanted to happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that he still left a crappy, shitty comment at the beginning, like,
First,
is
he left
upsetting.
his turd stain on there.
Yeah. Like, you know
So-
what? Scoot somewhere else. Like, scoot on and just move on.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion on it, and I'm not a keyboard warrior, and my sheets are clean, and I don't have laundry sitting in the corner of my
I don't know
bedroom.
about your sheets clean, but
I wonder how he found y'all. Like, where did he come
So
from?
it was through the original advertising that we did on when we posted the
not
very
Joe.
first episode,
Yeah.
or very first 2 episodes. We did a $20 ad on that one, and then somehow it came across his page, and he was just unhappy.
yeah.
He just did not
He was
like
having a terrible day, and
can't-
it's just
my theory.
Like he was saying this is spam. I was like, nah, it's not spam, man. It's just 2 guys in a garage talking on microphones and recording it with their buddies. It's,
My theory is that like with it being like your mom's favorite podcast, it could also be your wife's favorite podcast because I don't think I think his wife might have been like, oh, I found these boys, they're so nice and I like them, and she's like, this is trash.
this is garbage.
Just troll us.
If my wife likes this, it must be garbage.
Well, you won't like these boys more than me. So, but all that being said, off of Jack off, because let's just get off of him now. He gets off enough. I was scrolling through the other parts of the comments, and the best part that I came across, even better than Jack off's memes, was the fact that some random guy, also starts with a J, is selling a computer. Like literally, it's a site or it's a clip to his eBay. So like, you know, a shout out, go to his eBay and try to buy this guy's computer because thank you for leaving the comment. But still,
I feel like
a
once
computer.
once we got that notification that some guy made a post like, oh, it's a new like generic post. It's not a response to anyone else, and I pulled it up. It's like, oh, he's trying to sell a laptop.
Sir, did you remember
Can I
what
make an
site you're
offer?
on? Maybe he thought he was on a different site.
He's trying to use the sponsorship to sell a laptop.
And I feel like that means our sponsorship must be somewhat successful.
right.
guess so.
If
Reaching
he's,
so many people.
yeah, if he's jumping on board to do advertising on it,
He's like, hey, this it obviously reached me, so maybe it's reaching enough different people to buy it.
Let's not just go to Marketplace on this. Let's
Yeah.
just post it on some random.
so yeah, I got
Random
that
sponsorship.
I got that notification a few days ago, and I was astonished by it. I even asked you, I was like, should we delete it? Because I think we should leave it there just because maybe somebody else will comment on it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Maybe
Let the guy. If he thinks that y'all's is doing so well that he thinks that he's going to have enough traffic coming on this
Yeah.
radio station, or like another radio station, but from the podcast coming to the y'all's site. Obviously, he didn't post it there because he thought no one was going to see it. Like, if I were wanting to sell, if I was going to sell something, I wouldn't find the one that I'm thinking, you know what? No one's going to see this. Let me post it here. I'm going to be like, hey, I imagine people are going to come through here and I'll
And hell,
post it.
maybe Jackoff told him to. Maybe it's one of Jackoff's buddies. He's like, hey,
Maybe it's Jack Off Recreated.
post it.
Because if I remember correctly, it might be a J-O again. It might be a J-G.
JG.
JG.
Yep.
So we got Jack Off and Jack Good.
I was just about to say that. Yes.
Man.
Jack Good.
Well,
Jack Good.
so are we gonna mess with him?
I saw that
Can
somebody
I put an offer in on
already.
his laptop?
That's what I'm saying.
I saw that somebody already commented on it and said something like along the lines
Yeah.
of like, "This is an interesting place to do this at," but like,
Show me the
what are your
details.
details?
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me the details
and
of
so
this
like
thing.
at least it's like he's getting the
That's what I'm saying.
response maybe that he wants, but
I want to know more about this. Is it a single owner? Like,
I wonder if there's also
does it come with
another.
any malware?
Like, if people start asking him questions, is he just going to say, go to my eBay site? Like, why? You're right here. You
Yeah.
can sell it to us right now. Be a
But my thing is,
salesman.
he also might be doing this to like all the sites that he like comes across. He could just be like
Just posting it everywhere.
everywhere. to,
Listen,
like,
the full description is there, guys.
Oh, here we go.
You
Full
just have to
description.
click it, yeah.
Well, but
Is it a good
I want
computer?
I want to come straight from the source.
Because don't be selling shit on this like site. You only put quality.
Is it a good one?
So when you read the description,
Negative.
does it sound like it's a quality purchase?
You know, for the price maybe, but he's got a lot of stars. I will say this person has
Okay.
100% positive feedback. So
Is it a good eBayer?
Is it
Okay.
all his? Is it all jack off on there? Because if it's jack off, I'm done.
I don't see jack off. However, there is a full description. You know, good for him.
All right, we got these new beers to try.
Yeah.
You're going to tell us what we're trying? Or just going to open it up and start drinking it?
Truly
Oh well, I'm
amazing
gonna
or what?
open it, and as I open it, I'm gonna tell you. So
Oh, shoot,
you
I already
know,
opened mine. Oops.
Y'all told me to wait.
I dipped
Y'all
in.
told me
we
to
just
wait.
opened it. We were. So we're
It's like a
all
bull
bulls
a
in
china
this
closet,
day.
like old Shallbee.
So we try new beers every time, and especially since I'm on, I ask them to wait for me every time we want to try a new one. And I do like Truly's because I don't think Truly is crap. I
So
don't think it's the best beer. No means do I think it's the best, but it's definitely not the worst.
So we're drinking a Truly.
We're drinking a Truly, the holiday special, the holiday sangria style.
Shout out Billy.
And it
He's on
says
the bottom.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Billy.
Billy. It says serve
Thank
gold.
Thanks for getting drunk and leaving them.
It says serve gold, get warm.
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
slogan.
Then-
100 calories. Oh, God, that's terrible.
So
oh,
me-
fuck me.
You're the one giving it props.
Oh, I was drunk the last time I tried it. I remember, it was the,
Listen, I'm not mad about that.
good. You can have another one.
So me, Elena, and Shallbee all have the
Serve
sangria
cold, get
one.
warm.
I think yours is
I've
different,
got
right?
I've got the. Hold
Let me
on.
try that shit.
Saline?
Let me try that one.
Hold on.
Because I'm going to indifferent.
No, mine says spiked
Yours is like
apple spice.
Spiked apple
Here, I'll trade you. I'm just kidding.
Let me
I
try.
don't care.
Spiced apple spice sounds pretty good.
Spiced apple spice.
Like
I
an-
thought I grabbed
like an apple
oh,
cider,
spiked. Not spiced apple. It's spiked.
No, I thought it said
I
spice.
I
I heard
understood.
spice.
I actually taste a lot of apple in this one. Apple and cinnamon for some reason.
Let's see.
Oh, God, that's terrible, too. These are all terrible.
Let me try that one.
Yeah, I don't want any more of these. Take me back to my life.
I don't think the sangria is that bad.
It's terrible.
So you have been drinking that with the
The
pickle.
ranch?
Yeah,
The
did-
Can I? No, I just don't
sauce.
like.
Kinda tastes like
Those
a
taste
Jolly
very
Rancher.
artificial.
An apple Jolly
Those taste
Rancher?
like artificial flavoring. Like you can have that grittiness at the end and the dryness. I
Yeah.
just don't like artificial flavor. Like and the strong artificial, which is why I like ranch water, is because it tastes more like a seltzer than
It's
anything.
very light, yeah.
It's very light additions, but I don't like
light.
light.
There's so many ranch water. What? What do you need?
That one is really good.
I just wanted another one of
So
mine
this-
because I'm gonna give y'all mine.
The spiked
Yeah,
apple.
Get it.
Okay.
You're gonna take the journey to the fridge.
I'm taking the journey to the fridge. I don't know where my voice was going with that.
I like those. I like the spiced apple, spiked apple spice. Tasted like apple, or like apple cobbler, apple pie, maybe.
Yeah.
Had a very. You said Jolly Rancher, Elena.
Yeah. I
Kinda,
want to say
yeah,
Jolly
kinda
Rancher.
like a Jolly Rancher, but like with a hint of
Cinnamon.
Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. Oh, a Christmas Jolly Rancher. There you go.
Yeah,
The
Christmas Jolly
sangria one, I can't really figure out what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But I like the
That's all that's
sangria one.
left.
Like, I don't think it's a strong
like it.
flavor like Shallbee said. She says it's a very strong flavor. She don't like that, but I don't
It's
think
kind
it's
of
a
like
very
apple
strong.
cranberry. Is that what I'm tasting?
Ooh,
With a spiced apple cranberry.
yeah.
Well, I think you couldn't get past the point of it being artificial.
That's probably a true statement.
I think that was a true statement. I think that's what she said.
Yeah, I think you did mention artificial flavor.
It is, but you're probably
Talking
correct.
to the front of the mic, not the side.
You're probably correct.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
You're probably correct
Volume
that I couldn't
levels.
get past the fact that it was artificial. You are correct. I don't like that it is artificial. I just probably couldn't get past it. But I will tell you, it doesn't taste like cranberry to me because I do love cranberry.
Justin, we could buy the most expensive microphones
Oh my
there
God.
is.
I know.
And
She
it
would
still wouldn't
still would
filter
not-
out
yeah.
Shallbee.
She would not
She
know
would
how to
still
use it.
find a way to make it sound awful.
Awful.
I don't think she could actually be in radio.
No, I think she could.
You know what? Thank y'all so much for inviting me. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoy all of the positive
just-
feedback that I'm getting from you
I just said
motherfuckers. It's so much fun.
I just said I
I'll
think
make
she
sure I
could be in
come back
radio.
next time.
Trolls.
You will.
think-
Hey, yeah.
You've had
Hey,
fun. We're the new
Jack and
jack-offs.
off.
Yeah, they're being
You've had
jack
fun.
offs.
You-
You've had fun.
I do have fun.
We're the new jack off.
I was here last
We're
week
just
and
trying-
now I'm here again. And this time again, I'm getting yelled at.
but it's
I
all
don't know about
fun.
that.
Is it fun?
It's-
Is it fun?
You know what makes it?
Is
so,
it fun for the bully or is it fun for me?
You know what makes
You're
it
not
so
bullies.
fun is
You're
'cause
not bullies.
When you talk, you get excited. You get louder and louder and louder. And as you get louder and excited, you also move closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
So it gets louder.
You know
so
when
it's-
they're passionate.
But, and there's nothing wrong
You
with
keep
that.
the
You are
producer
passionate.
on his toes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Rooster's very busy.
Rooster's
Rooster
a busy
Booster.
man.
when you're on,
we need to
when you're on
boost
the
his
mic.
pay.
Yeah, that's right. You sure do.
Talk to our sponsors.
So, yeah. So, Ricky,
Alana.
we were talking earlier.
Was that your name?
Some of my first equipment that I had
Yeah.
was from Radio Shack.
And
right?
this was a long time ago when you got it,
It
right?
was a long time ago. I was a small kid.
A wee little lad.
Yeah, wee little lad.
Yeah.
I wanted a mixer, and I got the mixer for Christmas one year. And
And when we did the podcast 10 years ago, that's the equipment we used.
yeah, we were
Is it
using
still
all
the
of
same
that
mixer?
equipment.
No, because it actually
No, not this
something
one.
happened to it. It broke, so I had to throw it away. But anyways, from Radio Shack. So a lot of our stuff was from Radio Shack, and then they closed down. They
Yeah.
closed down what? They filed for bankruptcy in 2015. So that's whenever.
And what was great about Radio Shack is like if you're making your own stuff, you could buy any little part. You can buy any little component, like a switch,
Right.
whatever, resistors.
Can you not do that now?
no, because Radio
Not
Shack.
not the same.
No, obviously
Like-
not Radio Shack, but is there
you
no
can-
other
you-
location that you can just buy a Switch or something like that?
Like you can go to Amazon and get everything off Amazon.
So since Radio Shack shut down, is there no other like shack of.
Radio?
Check out
Probably not.
radios. No.
No, I don't mean like radio, but I mean like.
So
I get what you're saying. So
it
Is there
wasn't.
another place that you can just
But
go? And,
when I-
like
when-
Best Buy, I imagine would, but they're like, but they're
yeah, but they were never like the Radio
So,
Shack. You could
yeah,
find you could find a bunch of random like chords and just all kinds of stuff.
I'll
in
say
Radio
this:
Shack.
when I was bartending, we were doing a bartending competition. So I wanted to make bottles that lit up. So I went to Radio Shack and bought everything I needed. Something that I could connect to the screw-on lid.
Yeah.
That held batteries. That went out with lights into it, and then had a button on top.
They had like parts and
And-
pieces that
yes.
you could build your own
and
stuff.
I built
Like,
So
everything
was that,
I needed
was
for
that
those.
their like niche? It was
yes,
like that you
like they had
like,
switches, like
Yeah.
random
Your own
switches,
products.
all kinds of switches.
That's where I bought my CB radio
Push button.
from when I
Yeah.
had my Jeep.
CB radios. They had all the like different fuses.
So my
just
question
all kinds of
was:
stuff.
I just naive whenever I was younger because I didn't get it? That they were like predominantly like radio based, like anything that would get you like podcasting, radioing, stuff like that, like microphones.
Yeah, they weren't that. They weren't
No,
really.
they
Okay.
weren't, but you could get microphones there.
Right. So it was like, just equipment, like tech based stuff that like you could just kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's old tech. That's
Right.
that's what happened.
It was
It's
kind of
old
like the
tech.
Lowe's of radios.
I can see that. Where
Yeah.
like
the
you
Lowe's
build
of-
your
or
stuff.
Lowe's or Home Depot.
I feel like Doris would be a great person to talk with this about because she worked at the call center in downtown Fort Worth for Radio Shack in the early 90s. She worked night
so we had an
shift. I was like,
inside
what? You worked
source on
night
it.
shift at a call center for Radio Shack? She said yes.
What do people call a Radio Shack for? Like,
don't know.
I got home
like
and I was
customer
trying to
service.
finally putting my my switch together, and the switch just didn't work. What do I do? You just start-
Definitely stuff like that because when you buy stuff, you're buying components that you expect to work.
That's true.
And it's not like stuff we have now. It's not. And nothing was digital. Everything was analog.
Yeah, and it was probably for high profile, like stuff.
Yeah.
That was
But
going on
middle
that they
of the
did need
night.
answers to.
Yeah, she worked night shift.
But in the middle of the night, what are you going like? What are you calling for?
We
They
gotta
do
ask her.
radio shows in the middle of the night too.
Don't yell at me. But like that, you
just
needed like a
saying.
base for
Well, yeah.
it?
Think about it. When I was making my light up bottles, I wasn't making those light up bottles during the day. It was in the evenings and stuff. So, but I didn't have any problems. But other people that might be building stuff may have questions about what they bought.
I feel like
So
this is a
the
good
whole
conversation
point-
for Doris.
I'm bringing Radio Shack up is because they filed for bankruptcy 2015.
6 years ago.
They closed
7
down.
years ago.
They closed now, so there's no more Radio Shacks,
Yeah.
right? So they're coming back and they're rebranding themselves, all right? But they're not coming back as what they were. This is the whole weird part of it. They're coming back as a cryptocurrency exchange platform in an effort to keep their brand name.
So they just want to keep the name.
Exactly.
But
It's not
not-
going to be
it's-
anything to do with what they did
It's
before.
the name. It's not the brand.
It is the name. It is going to be a exchange platform for
I wonder how much the brand
cryptocurrency.
cost.
So like a crypto wallet,
Pretty much.
basically.
Yeah.
Or you can buy crypto on it.
Yeah. That's pretty much all it's going to be. So you're going to be like, hey, you have any Radio Shack? And,
So
yeah.
my question is, they filed bankruptcy,
Yeah.
but they got to keep their name,
Right.
their
Because
business.
it's trademarked or whatever you
So
have.
if, and I don't know enough to know if this is a valid question or not. If they were a publicly traded company at the time they filed bankruptcy, do all these shareholders that were part of the company then, are they still part of the company now?
I mean, I guess it depends on if they sold their piece off or not.
Or is there new owners and they just bought the name
Yeah, they
for
could.
branding?
Yeah, I mean, shit, we could buy Blockbuster.
So
Make that a
what
cryptocurrency thing.
state do you think that they were based out of?
Pennsylvania.
Chicago. Oh, you said state.
Any other? That'd be Illinois, right?
Shelby's finger fucking her
Shelby.
phone, so she has no idea what you just asked.
Shelby, you ready?
I don't, but it's
Where-
because I was asked to. I posted a picture earlier, just a little like side
Oh,
note.
she's advertising.
Posted a picture of us doing our podcast tonight, and somebody asked me like, where can I listen? And I said Spotify, their website, blah blah blah. They said drop a link, and so I just figured
Drop
out
that
how
link.
to drop a link from Spotify.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm sorry, I'm finger fucking my stuff, but I'm also finger fucking getting you exposure.
You can also just send them.
My fingers have done a lot of good in this lifetime. Okay,
You can also send them simsandleon.com because on that website we have
all the links.
well, it's a link to our Spotify and a link to our iTunes, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question was,
There's
what state do you think that Radio Shack was based out of? Shelby,
New York.
Where do I think it was based out of?
what state?
I'm gonna say one of the southern
Ooh,
states.
I retract my
Southern
Pennsylvania.
state.
Texas or Oklahoma or
Okay.
I think it's
What's
honestly I think it's gonna be random. I think it's gonna be weird. I don't think it's something.
You got to pick one state.
So I feel like they're associated with Tandy.
Okay, so she picked Texas.
Golly, I want to pick Texas too.
Nope, you can't. It only can be picked once. Yeah, the
I
40
feel like the
others.
reason you're asking is because it's going to be we're not going to believe that it's from there. So I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Kentucky, all right.
I'm going New York.
You go to New York, way up there. All right. It's actually the Texas-based retailer filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2015.
I'm
and
sorry.
Again, 2
Who
years
was
later, before. So, I guess they were alive in 2020.
What city? Where were they out of? I'm gonna say Houston.
Hold on. Let me
I'm
see
gonna
if I
say
can find that
Fort Worth.
information. I don't know if I have.
I'm gonna say
Because I always thought
God
they're.
bless.
I'm literally
Here we
just.
go.
I
Put
can't.
me on the
double
spot.
fisting.
He
Yes,
is
and
double
when
fisting.
I was going to put them down, I put both of them down.
That's when you know you're really thinking.
I was concentrating very hard on it. 'Cause I feel like they were associated with Tandy. Do you remember Tandy?
The Tandy Center
Yeah.
in Fort Worth. Downtown.
So the Tandy
used
was
to go ice skating.
It was also an electronic company. I think Radio Shack was part of Tandy
Okay.
at some point. So I'm going to say Fort Worth. And my grandmother used to work at the Tandy plant.
You went. What is it called? Where you go underground like that?
A tunnel?
Yeah, you have to ride a
Candy
train
shop.
in the ground. What is that called? A subway?
Subway?
Yeah, you rode a subway down into it. I remember that.
Really?
Where we went.
At the Tandy
Damn.
Center in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I don't
year?
remember-
That
Okay,
was like one of my
Here's
favorite
one more
parts,
question.
riding the train down into the ground.
I don't remember riding a train down there, but I remember it being.
That's also
Where?
called a Subway.
At the Tandy, yeah, subway. Yeah, the Tandy Center.
Yeah, we already said that.
I'm helping you
By taking pictures of yourself?
to promote. Go fuck
Don't,
yourself.
don't get a picture of me. Whatever.
What
Whatever
year?
you do.
You are beautiful.
What year do you think Radio Shack was
God.
founded in?
Founded?
Yeah, founded.
1990,
90. Ooh, son.
She only gets one guess.
1985.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
Lena, do you have a guess?
Go ahead.
1969.
Oh,
19.
No, Shallbee. I'm gonna say 1967.
dang, y'all are 60s, huh? 60s. Nope. 1921.
1921.
What the fuck?
Wow.
What were they selling in 1921?
So,
Their souls?
Like when
Telephones.
so they weren't. They
Not
were
even
not.
that.
What year did Doc Brown and Marty McFly go back to in Back to the Future 3?
shit.
Was that the 1800s?
Never seen the movie, so.
I don't know.
You haven't?
Google it. You got your phone
should
out.
watch that.
I already have this Radio Shack.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
pulled
gonna look it up.
So they
you looking
were.
up the-
I will tell you this: they were not founded in Texas. So their headquarters was in Texas.
Ended up being in Texas.
At the end of it, but they were not founded in Texas. So they were founded in Boston.
Well,
1921.
Atlanta was pretty close on that.
Yeah, so 1921. But their headquarters was in Texas. So where'd y'all say it was? Y'all thought that the headquarters was at?
Houston.
I said
You said
Fort Worth.
Houston. You said Fort Worth. Shallbee. Headquarters.
Do you
Where
need,
are they
do
at?
you
in
need the
Texas?
question again?
Dallas.
Dallas. All right. So Houston, Fort Worth, Dallas. Fort Worth wins it.
Oh,
Fort Worth.
I think you were on the right track.
Tandy. You're on the
I think they were
Tandy
at
train.
The Tandy Center.
Okay, so
Tandy.
it says 17-year-old Marty McFly is accidentally sent back into time from October 26, 1985 to November 5th, 19...
Are you talking about the original movie?
Yeah.
55.
Yes.
Yeah, so then he goes.
Oh, I thought that's what you were asking.
Yeah, so I was talking about the third movie. So the
Oh,
second
okay.
movie, he goes to 2015, and I can't remember where he goes back in the third one because they go. That's when they're in the Old West. I think
Okay.
it's 1800s, 1885.
Yes,
1885,
1885. Wow, you're good.
Oh,
He's watched it.
I can't. I've watched those movies so many times.
Yes, 1885.
So I was trying to compare that because when he goes back to 1885, like when he went back to 1955, they had to find different parts that had to be used for the technology they had in 85, which when you look at it now, it's astonishing. Astonishing?
Yeah.
It's astonishing how different it was from 55 to 85. And then when he went to 2015, if it was truly 2015 and you go back to 85, how much different everything was.
Yeah.
Like Doc Brown would have gone insane if he was actually brought into the current or 2015 that we had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back to the Future 2 was the worst one.
Yeah.
And it's easy to argue that the third one was the best one just because the Old West style stuff, and they had ZZ Top playing. I mean,
Oh, that's cool.
It was just it's a really cool thing. Shallbee, since you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Maybe I can text you that way you'll pay attention.
Shut up. I'm listening to you. It's worth a watch.
What is?
Marty McFly, you said the second one was the best. and
Nope.
you said the third was the best.
I literally said the second one was the worst.
Okay, that's what I meant. I was about to say I couldn't relate because I was about to be like, and I was like, I couldn't even relate if I wanted to. So continue. I'm here. I am literally posting about this episode. So leave me alone. I am helping you.
But I'm just saying it helps us better if you engage in conversation.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get back in this. I just felt like I had nothing to add to that one.
No, that's fair. I'm just messing with you. It's no
So you
big
said
deal.
you talked about ZZ Top.
Yeah.
What do you think about ZZ Top?
I mean, I'm a fan.
The one's a pretty big fan.
I love ZZ Top.
Do you?
Yeah, it brings back memories, just growing up, being in the car, because my dad just listened to old rock.
Like
and,
one of was it their bass player that passed away recently?
yes.
Within the last few months, I think.
Yeah, he passed away. And Dustin and I actually went to a ZZ Top concert. I don't think we could drink yet.
No,
I think we were like 19 or 20.
We went to Windstar. We had the X's on our hands and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, we were the youngest ones in the crowd.
Oh, it was.
Oh, I bet.
It was awesome though. It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. And we didn't even sit that close, but it was still.
We were close enough.
Talk about three
everybody was
guys that can
standing
make
up.
some
Yeah.
noise, and there's just three guys up there, and they don't do anything fancy. They're not dancing on the stage. They're just sitting up there. They're playing. They're having a good time, and they all have beards except for the drummer. His last name is Beard.
His last
Frank
name's
Beard.
Frank Beard does not have a beard. Everyone else does.
I've heard he lives in Burleson.
I wouldn't be
it's just a
surprised.
rumor. I've heard he
There's a couple
lives
beards that do
Yeah,
live in
he does.
Burleson.
right behind Spinks, is what I've heard,
Yep.
but I cannot confirm. So I don't know.
Can't
And
confirm nor deny.
fun fact about them too, like Radio Shack, they are sort of like Radio Shack. They are from Texas as well. They're Texas band.
I don't know if they've ever been compared to Radio Shack, but yeah.
Well, we were talking about where they're from, so they're from Texas too.
That's the first time that like ZZ Top and Radio
just
Shack.
like Radio Shack.
You're
In
like,
one
yep, you're right. One stop shop. You
Just
get
like
all
Radio
you
Shack.
need.
Their headquarters is in Fort Worth.
So, do you think you like them because you saw them at a concert when you were younger, or did you like them before that?
Oh no,
I like them.
You've always liked them?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We went
I've
to the
always liked
concert.
them. And then when we became old enough, we started doing our own. Like we were able to do our own thing
Yeah.
and drive places and do that kind of stuff. We were like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be at Windstar. So we went.
That's like
so
2012,
then,
I think.
yeah. So then after we saw them in concert, then I liked them even more.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
Like for
so-
me, I love all music. Like there's not
Right.
very many genres of music that I don't like. I just appreciate.
Same.
Yeah, I appreciate the music that people make. I feel like I'm very musical, but I'm not creative musically. I'm creative in different ways, but not musically. I can't create music. I wish I could because I'm fascinated by people that can.
But you
Yeah.
play trumpet.
You can
right?
appreciate it though.
Yeah, but I can play trumpet. I can play guitar. I can play drums. I just can't make my own songs.
Oh, okay.
That's
You
what
can
I
play
mean.
others. You can do covers, but you're not creating
Yeah.
your own content. But there's a difference between being able to be good at music and then also being creative with music. And that's why there's
Call Mikey
songwriters and
unlikely.
there's also people
Yeah.
there's
Right.
like that there's some artists that cannot create their own, but they do a very good job of making other people's music like come to life.
Yeah, like
There's purpose of like some are songwriters and there's some that are like
there's
song
so many
performers.
super famous people that have top hit songs that they didn't write themselves.
Oh, for
Right.
sure.
but
Right.
because
And a
they
lot
can-
of them
they can
came
perform
famous
that.
off of songs they didn't write, and
Yeah.
then they finally got
They
they
figure out
got
how to
famous,
write it
and then they
themselves.
started writing their own. They were never going to get famous off of because the songwriters know the niche. They know they don't. There's no personal attachment to.
Yeah.
They're like, I know what will sell more than like the songwriter performing their own music. They have a personal like attachment to like the meaning, and they have a hard time of being able to disassociate.
We watched a show about that. It was about George Strait. Remember that guy that wrote all those songs for
Yeah,
George Strait?
so George Strait pretty much didn't write any of his music.
At the very beginning, or any.
Pretty much the whole time.
Oh, it makes me like him even less.
Did you not like him already?
I'm not. It's not.
Who
He's
that,
the
doesn't like
king
George
of
Strait?
country.
He's a goddamn king.
well,
He's
he's a
a
king of
saint.
singing others' music. And-
Well,
That's
but
that's the
he
whole
can bring
thing.
it to life,
Yes.
like you said earlier.
Yeah.
He
right,
can bring
and
it to
again,
life.
yes, but when I say king of something, like if I'm gonna say you are something, I think you're like my opinion is like you've engulfed the entire genre of
perfected
it.
all.
So-
You have perfected the writing. This is
And
your
the singing.
music. This is your
I got you.
melody.
So I'm
this
gonna
is,
give you a counter argument on that one. I would say the reason he is the king is because he took all these other writers' songs that couldn't perform them themselves, and they found him because they knew if they attached it to him and he made the song his own, he is
I'm
gonna,
not saying he's not good.
He's going to grow that so much
Yeah.
to where.
But did he grow some of those other signs because he got good? He was good, and then everybody had him following. He could do any song right now, and everyone's like, "It's amazing." And you're
Right,
like,
but-
"Is it?"
but the
is
reason
it?
he got there
but
is because
is it amazing?
That's with anybody else though.
You're right.
If
You're
you
right.
look
But
at
that's
it-
the thing. I don't look at other people like nobody calls Whitney Houston, who wrote a lot. If I am correct, I could be completely off base on that, but she wrote a lot of her own music. If I am correct, But nobody calls her queen
hold on.
of
But
like.
But did
when
she?
you hear a song from a artist, do you automatically look at, well, did he write it?
I do actually. I do like to know
do?
if my. I do
I
like to
don't.
know if they recreated their music.
Because I'm telling you right
themselves.
now, Chris Stapleton did not write any of his shit.
I don't know who that is. I couldn't tell you a single song of
So
his.
Do you think
who we're
Florida
talking about?
Georgia Line ever wrote a song?
No,
my
but again, I
God.
don't call them king.
No, I wouldn't
Jesus
either.
Christ.
But
I
hey,
wouldn't either.
But
I,
it's country music.
but again, like, did Michael Jackson
Okay.
write his own music?
So
Did
George
these
Strait
people write-
also started at a time where country it hadn't changed yet to
Yeah,
I guess
it was
modern day
transitioning.
country. Yeah, it was transitioning. So he was able to sing more of like original old school country, but he's also been here and flourished with modern day country.
So-
Don't get me
he's-
wrong. I think he's amazing. I think he has done a great job, and he has done a good job to be able to go through all of the years that he's been because he's
I think-
old as shit. I'm not knocking the fact that he has done an amazing job of like of marketing himself, of changing with the times, of doing what he needed to do. I think it's hard to call someone a king of something that didn't create the music
Elvis.
themselves.
Wasn't Elvis the king? And I don't think he wrote all his songs.
I think he was the king of
The king. He's
rock
just
and
the
He
king.
roll.
was,
or
no,
something.
he was just the king.
He was just the king.
But if I remember correctly,
I
he
don't know.
he created rock and roll. He started
He actually was. I watched a
And again,
documentary
I
about
don't-
that one too.
I don't think he wrote a lot of his songs.
No, and he actually grew up listening to old school like jazz and
Big band stuff.
if I remember correctly, though, he created he made it was like the first time people were hearing this new sound, this new way of doing things.
He made it his own, whether he wrote it or not. I mean, that's
Wasn't
just,
yeah? So Michael
I'd be
Jackson,
interested to see
Jackson
if
was
he
a
did.
king of pop, right?
yeah.
Yes,
there you
yes,
go.
yes, there we go.
Michael Jackson, king of pop.
I already been
There's king. So then George Strait's king of country.
I know.
So
I
then-
was bringing it back.
right. My point
Elvis
was, did
is
he
the
write
king.
his own stuff? I
Michael
can't.
Jackson.
I doubt
The
it,
thing
but
is,
I don't know.
I'm not a huge fan of Michael Jackson either.
Why?
Come on.
Like, I think
Thriller.
he did a
Me
good
neither.
job. I think he did a good job. Do I think there's
Billie
others?
Jean. She was not my lover.
Not my lover. Yes, good job. I have a hard time calling someone because there are other artists that I think that have done an amazing job within the genre that has that
Okay,
write their own.
Lady Gaga. She writes almost all of her stuff, and
she does a great
sings
job.
A wide range of.
My
different
dog is
types.
named after her.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right. Lady
yes,
G.
yes. She sings she's
Full
an
circle.
amazing actress. Amazing actress.
Amazing is a push.
American Horror Story. She was also on A Star Is Born.
Right, a musical.
Is that a
Maybe
musical?
we can get her on one day.
It's she's singing. She's
Maybe we
she's
should.
acting as a pop star, so she's living her life. I think
So-
amazing is a stretch, but I think an amazing artist,
Talented. A
I
talented
love-
talented,
actress.
yeah.
I love Lady Gaga. I think.
Meryl Streep is an amazing actress in my opinion. One that you can play multiple
she a singer?
different.
No.
So George Strait, we're talking about him.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote majority of George Strait's songs was Dean Dillon. So we watched a documentary on him. It's on, I think, Amazon Prime. It talked about how he tried. Like he tried himself. He wanted to be the star that George Strait was. He
Right.
wanted his own name on his
He
own
wanted
music.
to do his own music.
Yes.
He didn't want to be a writer. He wanted to be a performer.
But he just did not take off like that. And George Strait was able to do that. And you just said that you didn't know who Chris Stapleton was.
I
or
know who he is, but I couldn't
I'm
tell you
sure
his
if you heard the
music.
song Tennessee Whiskey, that's his biggest song.
Okay, yeah.
George Strait had his shot at that song because Dean Dillon wrote it. And George Strait passed on it. He said, "No, that's not my style of music." So Dean Dillon would come to him and say, "Hey, I got this song," and he would either say yay or nay. And that was one of the ones he turned down. And then
That song,
George
if I-
Jones actually did it. George Jones was
Yeah.
the first one that sang that song, Tennessee Whiskey, but it wasn't popular.
Yeah.
And then Chris Stapleton did it, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Exactly. But the thing is that there's a lot of things about it that I think that the person who sings it makes the song.
It 100% does.
100%.
Exactly.
And I think that there's a lot that, like with George Strait, he could do any remake of any other song right now, and everyone's going to be just like swooning over it because it's his name. It's no longer.
But he has built his name.
But
up.
he built his name.
But that's this point in time too, though.
Right.
You gotta think. If
Back
he
in the
was
day,
early-
don't be wrong. I think he did. He is amazing.
So-
I respect where he came from and what he's done to get where he's at now. My point is that like
But you have more respect for people that write their own stuff.
I do.
And
there's
I
nothing
know. The
wrong
thing
to
is,
say about that.
I to call someone king, the one
king,
of
yeah.
it, like you are the name for this. It's hard for me to say that, and it's like, well, then write it, then be like wholeheartedly be it through and through. So, but again, I do not take anything away from him from what he's done. I do not think he's less of an artist for not singing his own stuff, because at the end of the day, like I said, some are performers and some are writers, and sometimes you're a coach and sometimes you're a player. Like sometimes you just can't. And I think that, but if I'm going to give someone like the top, like the ranking, like the top, just because you did a good job of selling yourself and your voice is good, like Johnny Cash, did he write his own stuff?
He did some of it, but a lot of his songs were written by the people. He wrote some of his songs.
Like Folsom Prison Blues, he wrote that.
Yeah.
It was
Like his largest songs, were those his?
Yeah, they were his.
Because for there, I'm like, I am.
So that genre of country is completely different than regular country, because all these guys work together to write these songs. So I mean, he could have wrote this song with 5 other people.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of the cool group they had at that time of you know, like Jerry Reed, Johnny Cash, all of them. They were just fun. They knew how to play the guitar. They knew how to sing, but they also knew how to tell a story.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing, telling a story while you're doing a song.
Yeah.
And that's I don't remember who started. I want to say Jerry Reed, but I could be wrong on that. When they started, I'm not just going to sing. I'm going to tell a story, and I don't even have to sing.
I could just guitar, speak it, and my guitar could make it a melody in the back.
What's so great about Jerry Reed, his guitar is so crisp and so great while he's plucking it, that while he's telling the story, it makes it a song.
Right.
And
he literally is
he's
just
funny
speaking, and he's like doing what we're doing right now, but just speaking a story.
His favorite story song that he has is, and one of the best lines ever in any song I've ever heard. She got the gold mine, I got the shaft. And he's talking about
a divorce.
Yes.
Yeah. Already, those 2 lines tell you everything you need to know in that relationship.
And like, someone's mind to come up with that. She got the gold mine, I got the shaft. And it's just
but it still
greatness.
Speaks. But only that though, it speaks and it rings true to today, and that that itself too, like that, like the music from then now speaks true now.
Yeah.
And again, I want to make it very clear for all the people that, because I know I had just like killed anybody that was like, oh, I like Shallbee. They hate me now because I hate. No. The thing is, I don't disrespect and I don't disqualify anything that he's done.
I think I understand what you're saying.
It's just very hard to call somebody a king of something that's not like.
That he didn't write his own songs.
Right. And it's not just writing your own.
Let's say there's a stand-up comedian that doesn't write his own material.
I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to call you the best.
I'm not going to call you a stand-up comedian, because you can be a comedian. But to be a stand-up comedian, you have to write your own stuff. You have to do that on your life experiences.
Right.
So if you have somebody else writing your material, you're a performer.
Right. You're performing their work. Yeah. You're just pretty much an actor.
You're not creative.
You're essentially doing the same thing that any actor is doing. That's taking a person's like writing like material and you're bringing it to life on screen. The same thing that a comedian's doing. You're just doing on a stage.
And you could do it in a different way and it be popular in itself. You know, you can gather more people's attention because you're a more interesting person or
or the way you deliver.
Exactly. So, however, I will say this. I think that George Strait knew that he was not a writer. And so, but his son aspired to be a writer. So I think his son's name is George Strait Jr.
I wonder if he wrote his music.
He has wrote some of his music. That's what I was getting at. Is that he has gotten with, and George has made sure to get his son with Dean Dillon, who wrote most of his songs, and saying, hey, my son wants to go write stuff and or try to be a writer. And so yes, he's trying to still make it staple on that point. But I think George just knows that he's not a writer, and that's not what he wants to do. Especially at this point in his career, too.
He goes back. He's a performer.
Exactly. He has his songs. He has his hits. And one of the ones that on that documentary was he wanted the song so bad, Easy Come, Easy Go. And that's one of my favorite George Strait songs. But Dean Dillon wanted that to be his own, and he wouldn't give it to George. He wouldn't do it. He said, no, that's going to be mine. And so he put it out there. He recorded it himself. He's trying to make it big. And at some point, he's like, it's not going to happen for me. And he's like, and then he called him up and he said, George, you can have the song. So and he did. And it was
I
great.
respect that though of Dean though, of him like
trying.
It's my song.
It's mine. This is mine. This is something mine.
What is this documentary? Where can I watch this?
You can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
and it's called Tennessee Whiskey actually. Okay, because that's one of his most popular songs with Chris Stapleton. So
let me ask you this about George, and you may not know. Did he write any of his songs?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't think that he did. But
I'm sure he had to. He had to be a part of it, anyways.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And
the production part of them.
I think I remember him saying that he's written a couple of them, but the majority of them, I think.
Yeah, especially
like I feel like his Fort Worth song,
"Cold Forward Beer." Oh, that's what. Well, we tried that on a couple episodes.
Yeah.
What about the one about the chair?
The chair.
The stool?
Excuse me.
It wasn't my
There's
chair.
a
Yeah, my chair.
tear in my beer.
That's not George Strait.
My bad. So on the same lines of this, I'm going to change it just a little bit.
Go ahead.
You know, I went to school with Kelly Clarkson.
Oh yeah.
And
Here's some stories about that.
She was I don't have any stories with her. Like we were somewhat friends, but not like close friends. We had.
Wasn't she kind of like a nerd?
She wasn't a nerd. But she was in choir, and she stuck with her choir and band friends.
Okay.
I wouldn't say she was a nerd because she had a. I say had like she's dead. She's not dead. She has.
You're talking about high school though.
This is high school. In high school, she had a good personality. It's just she didn't always put it out to everybody. Like she worked at the movie theater in Burleson. It used to be, and that
Used to be Hollywood.
Yeah, it used to be Hollywood. And
That was when there was only one movie theater.
when
in
she's there,
Burleson.
she was so friendly to everybody, and that's when her personality came out. Like once she started working there, so at school she was like kept her close friends.
Right.
But once she started working there, I think that's when she realized, oh, I can interact with people, and it's going to help me. Because when we did talent shows, she was amazing.
Huh.
Like we would all hear her just sing. We're in that auditorium, and it would just blow your mind. It's like I can't believe this girl is singing Whitney Houston.
Not only that, but like,
Almost better than Whitney Houston.
yeah,
And this
is
when she's
Burleson
Yeah.
like, talent show.
This is when she's 16, 17 years old,
Right.
and she's making this song sound like it's her own. Like she made it. It's like she just brought it her own thing, and it just like I'm getting little goosebumps just talking about it because I remember being in there because I always did something in a talent show too. Like it was always band related. Like one year we did like a Zoot Riot. Do y'all know that song? It doesn't. It's a big band song. So me and my buddies that played instruments had a drummer. One of the teachers that played upright bass joined us.
Nice.
What teacher?
I don't know his name now. You put me on the spot. I wasn't planning on telling the story.
You know, well, no, because
He was,
the choir teacher, I actually was in choir too,
he
and she was amazing. It's like it was.
So
it's
he wasn't the
interesting.
choir teacher. He had nothing to do with musical.
Oh, okay.
He was like in some kind of tech part of side of things. I can't remember his name, but he played
Engineering?
upright bass, it wasn't engineering then. I mean, you're thinking when I was 18.
Okay.
It's been a while. So,
It's been a minute.
but it was cool because we had friends that could play bass, but the fact that he could play the upright bass, where he's on stage and it's boom, 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 that makes it even better. So we did that, and then Kelly comes on, and she's like,
Blows it
blows
out of
away.
the
So
water.
were you before or after Kelly?
Doesn't matter.
I don't
'cause
even
nobody
remember.
remembered him until because Kelly came on.
All I'm saying
But
is that if you were before, everybody was like, "Yeah, that's great," and then Kelly comes on.
No,
like,
everybody
you don't
loved
wanna
us because
follow Kelly.
everybody loved us
They were
because
before.
not only did we have that teacher, we had the principal of the school involved too because
there
he
you
played
go.
trumpet as well.
Nice.
So he came out and did a
Wait.
solo,
Oh.
and he was awesome. So I mean,
Was it like a competition? Or like, was there?
there's a
like
winner of the talent
Okay.
show, but yeah, like you don't win anything.
There's just been,
Did
like,
she ever win?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
shit.
Well, I can't say yes for sure
Yeah.
because there's
Maybe we'll have her on one day.
there was one weird year where I felt like we should have won or she should have won, but because one of the guys in high school died that year.
Whoa,
in
careful.
a car wreck.
Careful.
One of the girls, and she did such a great job on it. She did a piano thing with a video of all his pictures and stuff, and it was so beautiful, so great.
Is that where the next like handful of years came through? What was that? Like the drinking and driving.
Moms against.
No,
No,
drunk
no.
driving.
So this was after Mom, but yeah,
It wasn't
that's
Moms
what.
Against. No,
but
what
that's
was
what
the
it
thing
was.
where they came in and they like came in with a
Shattered
heartbeat
Dreams.
over
Shattered
Shattered
Dreams.
Dreams.
Shattered
Was that
Dreams,
Shattered
yeah.
Dreams?
Yes.
Okay.
But it was before that. Like Shattered Dream was already Shattered Dreams was before this happened. So that had already.
I was asking, was that
we've already
incident
had
Shattered Dreams?
Shattered Dreams, but yes, he got hit by a drunk driver, ended up dying, and this girl made a great tribute to him. I mean, it was
That
beautiful.
alone itself.
And so it was like, there's
deserves
no
that.
way we could have won because why? Why would
Yeah.
anybody else not
Why
want
would
this
you
one
not
to
want
win?
that one to
Yeah.
win?
Yeah, but Kelly, she would sing her song, and then at the end, just start doing her vocal thing where she goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Kind of like we were talking to Mikey last week about when he's doing that our theme song. He's like he went with the bass line up and down, back and forth. And Kelly would do that to see how high she could get, and it was always so cool to hear her just hit that peak. And like I said, she sang Whitney Houston better than I think Whitney Houston sang Whitney Houston.
So when you hear her sing now, because she does a lot of like on her own show that she has now.
Yeah.
When she does her own singing, does it sound the same, or like does it take you back a little bit to like where she was?
I don't think so. Only, just because I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always enjoy hearing her because I think she has a great voice. Obviously, she's very talented, and she was the first
American Idol
winner.
Yeah. First one.
So can I say a story about that really quick?
Yeah.
So one of our guests that was over for the Christmas party, one of her son, I think it was either her son or her daughter, was really good friends with Kelly Clarkson. I don't know how we started talking about Kelly. Oh, it was because we were talking about famous people from our city where we live. And so anyway, she said that he or she, it was either her son or her daughter, like I said, worked at the movie theater with her. And the guest that was over at her house, she actually still works at a bingo hall. So she would get home extremely late. So the son or daughter and then Kelly Clarkson would go to their house, because she was up late and they could do kind of, just like hang out or whatever. Well, they're still friends. They still talk. And evidently, Kelly thought that she wasn't going to win American Idol because she said that she's like, no, I don't have the right personality. I don't fit the mold that they want me to be in.
Yeah, I can add on to this story. So when she was on American Idol was when I did the radio show on 105.3. And one of our buddies was friends with her. Like, when they got married, Kelly Clarkson was the best maid of honor.
Maid of honor.
The best maid. The best maid.
Hey, I'm happy.
She was a cleaner like no one knew.
So she was the maid of honor at their wedding. So
She was the best maid.
I like how you combine them. It's
the best,
the
maid of honor. So while we were doing this
best maid of
radio
honor.
show, he was in communication with talking to her about it, and she basically said the same thing. Is like, and one perspective that I don't know. I'll say it. It could be wrong because I did not hear this straight from her. One perspective that I heard that she had from our mutual friend is that she would probably be better off getting like third or fourth place because then she would owe nothing to no residuals to American Idol.
I didn't think about that.
Because I think it's like 5 years. For 5 years, I think
Yeah,
they have to like a
They
certain
take
amount
half
of
the
money
money.
or whatever that you make
So
during
they
that
get
time, whatever
the
that
money?
time.
they don't get all.
They don't get all of it,
obviously
but you
they
have
don't
to
get
pay
all of
them
it.
back.
Give a
You pay them for
chunk.
everything that they've done for you. Yeah.
Yeah, for making you famous.
They made because basically they scouted you out. They made money off of you, and now they're going to continue to make money.
So you have to
off
do
of
your
it.
time.
Yeah,
So,
so
and
like the people that
and I
came
think-
out before, or the ones that was second, third, and fourth place, pretty
Yeah.
much they say as long as you top within like the it's-
the top.
It was
the
the
top
first
so many,
two or three were
no matter what you're getting.
kind of controlled by American Idol, but they were guaranteed some kind of contract or whatever. Again, I'm speaking this secondhand because I didn't have the conversations directly with her.
But she's been it's been so long. Like I said, it was the first
Now
one.
she's on her own.
Now she's
100%.
Yeah.
With her
Gold
music,
now.
like, yeah, and I
So
think
the-
that's why. But if you notice, though,
So the reason
a
I
lot of
brought
her
that-
music coming out though is afterwards. Like she's like it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Because she's actually
She's
been
not
able to
being
do
told.
her own. She's not being
Yeah.
told and she's not being regulated. She's getting to make some of her own decisions on it, and now she has her own show.
Yeah.
She's able to do her own stuff now.
So the reason I brought it up is because I know there's many songs of hers that top hits that she didn't write.
Right.
Right.
That she
Like
just
the very first
had
one.
to sing.
The very first one, what was that? Like a moment like this
Moment
was her
Like
very
This,
first one.
Since You've Been Gone, one of
Yeah.
my favorite
Since You've
songs
Been
of all
Gone.
time.
Since you've been gone.
I was very sad to find out she didn't write that one.
So I heard that she didn't sing a lot
About
of her
you,
first
or-
ones.
Yeah, first of all, very sad she didn't write about me, but then,
Ricky, since you've been gone.
then she didn't write it at all.
Yeah, so my other person wrote it about you. You're like, now it's about, now I have a stalker? Now it became a whole different story.
I got a, hey, Kelly, who'd you write this about? Because let me know who wrote it because I know it's about me.
She does have a really good song that's about her. I think it's about her
Husband.
dad.
Oh.
And it's really sad. And I believe she did write that one.
She,
I know
Something
she
about a
has-
sidewalk.
so it was about it was about the dad who left her, and her daughter
Yeah.
would never know that. But then I'm pretty sure she
yes.
got a divorce afterwards, which was
Yeah,
kind of
they're
ironic.
divorced.
I know she has.
Because
has written
she made
some
the story about
songs,
like
for
my
sure.
husband will never leave.
Yes,
like,
yes, that song.
like that one. And did you see the live performance that she did?
Yeah, and she
So like her
started
father
crying.
left her, and she was like, I'm never like she questioned her worth, questioned her whatever beforehand, like as she was growing up, and she was like, thank you for leaving me because you taught me how to be strong, but my daughter's never going to know that because my husband, her father, is going to always be here and always going to teach her. Well, she ended up like crying and like during the song, like just like kind of breaking down. I think it was the first time she performed it, and I mean, it was kind of a beautiful moment. Like Kelly typically
I don't think
has.
it takes away from what her message in the song because that doesn't just because her and her husband split up doesn't change the
No,
fact
no,
of
of
her.
course not.
It doesn't change her
The husband's not
kids.
going to be, by him divorcing her doesn't change the fact that he's going to be a great dad.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't change that.
No, of course not.
I guess I see
But
that.
in the song, it does say something about like he's never gonna leave me. He's not.
Okay, yeah.
It's just and it was only because afterwards I was like, oh damn, that makes that moment like a little less like sweet, but still sweet.
It's still
like,
sweet.
It's just a bittersweet moment, I guess, in a little bit.
And I don't, from what I've seen and heard, of course, she was married to Reba McEntire's. I don't think it's her first son. I think it's her Reba's ex-husband's son, which or also from Burleson.
Yeah,
Reba's, yeah.
That too, yeah. But from what she said, Kelly saying it from what I've read is that there was like no hard feelings on it.
No,
Yeah.
Especially during the pandemic, they spent a lot of time together. They had a house up in Montana, and they spent a lot of time together because there was nothing else to do, and it just wasn't working out. But now, I think that he's been staying up there in Montana, and everything's finalized, and that's supposed to be her house, but she can't kick him out of it.
So, he's squatting. He's got squatter rights.
He's squatting right now, is from what I've heard.
Hold on.
It's still going on.
He definitely has his own money. It's not like he's
that's
taking
what I'm
all
saying.
of Kelly's money. It's,
But I heard he was being the bitch on all of it. I don't know for a fact.
Yeah.
But from what I've read and heard,
Kelly, hit us up and let us
yeah,
know.
let us know, Kelly. We're
We
homegrown
need
Burleson
the facts,
peeps.
Kelly. What was really cool was when she first got famous, my little self was working in Mansfield at Chili's bartending.
Mm-hmm.
She would come in and always come talk to me.
I heard that she never lost her down to earth. Like she like the fame never really got to her.
You can see it on her show now. Like
She's still down to
She's
earth.
happy that she's having fun. And I'm so glad, because like I said, when she was working at the movie theater, her personality was different. And different's not the right way to say it. It was more open to other people as opposed to when we were at school. Because at school, she was very close. We're a tight group of friends. But when she was at the movie theater, and I could be wrong on this.
She grew into herself. She got to realize that there was a different aspect to things too. But there's so much different being in the world than school. Like in school, people are catty and bitchy, and you just don't want to open up to people that don't give a shit about you.
And
Why?
so now seeing her grow and now doing her own show, her personality she's grown into who she is.
And not only that, but like speaking to millions.
She doesn't give a fuck what other people say about her.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the best thing.
You see that, and I
You're
love
right.
that about like her outfits that she wears, and like the things that she says, and the people she brings on the show, and her opinion, and like.
Yeah, she flows with it. It's all.
Yeah.
I think I watched her show. Whenever she first started the show, I think I was actually working evenings at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would catch it like an hour before I had to go to work.
At that fast food restaurant you worked at?
Yeah, that fast food restaurant. And I just thought it was great. Like it's not like Ellen or it's not, it's not like Oprah.
Yeah.
The thing I liked
It's
about
her
hers
own
is that it
thing.
didn't
It
feel
makes-
like as scripted as other ones were.
It's not scripted.
So I remember whenever she first started, she was getting a lot of like negative feedback with the fact that she would talk over her guest, or she would like not have talking points, and she wouldn't like try to get to other things. It was like there was like not
Sounds
necessarily
like us.
Yeah.
yeah, but like it didn't sound like lull. There was like sometimes there were like lulls in it because again she let it be natural. Like people would come, but a lot of times she invites a lot of her friends like at the very
Like you
beginning.
said, not scripted.
It wasn't scripted, and some of it is that you could tell because I watched it and then I saw some of the comments, and so I rewatched it on like the Facebook.
Sounds like you're a real follower.
I think they dropped the. It's just Facebook.
the Facebook. I was gonna
it's
say
not
I
even
watched
called
it.
Facebook anymore, huh? What's it called? The new?
Facebook.
It's not Facebook?
No. Well, so the app is called Facebook, but their whole company name is not called Facebook anymore. They rebranded.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
You don't?
No one knows
You
what you're
didn't
talking
see
about.
that?
The finish.
Oh.
You look that
you
up and
go
let us
Look it
know.
up and we'll go back to our
All right,
conversation.
all right.
Ultimately, I watched back and you could just tell that she was just excited to be like.
Yeah.
It wasn't that she was meaning to talk over them, or that she just wasn't like she was socially aware that she was doing it, but she was just so excited that like she was having her own show. You could just tell she was very happy.
Yeah, and like I said, me and
And
her,
I'd rather have that than someone that's just like sitting back going, I'm hitting these points and getting through this just to promote your thing and
I
me
got to promote
promote
myself, and that's what we have to do. Like I said, we were never like super close friends.
Right.
We were just kind of more of acquaintances. But even when she would come into the restaurant in Mansfield, she always made a point to say hi. Like she'd come in and we'd have a conversation.
me. Yeah.
And it wasn't like she's coming to say hi just to show
Save
off.
face.
She wasn't, because she would leave her group without them knowing they left, and she would come say hi to me. And then my friends that worked there was like, "Why did she come say hi to you?" I was like, "Oh, we went to school together. It's no big deal." I was like,
Right.
"Well, can you like
introduce us to her? You're like,
And I
no.
always said no. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, listen to her
because at the
music
end
and
of
do
the day,
that. But
There's like just because they're celebrities doesn't mean they're not human. They're like, I hate the people
Yeah.
that like run up to me like, can I take pictures of you while you're eating? And you're like, no, let me enjoy this time with my family.
yeah, and that's my
Like-
biggest thing. I never went up to her because it wasn't my place to. Because I'm at work, you know,
You're at work and she's also just enjoying her own dinner
enjoying
with her
her
own family.
dinner and stuff.
Like let her just be human.
The fact that she would always take time, and it wasn't like it happened every weekend or anything like that.
Right,
It was
but
probably
still.
about maybe 5 or 6 times.
But she still made the effort.
Every single time.
And she made the effort. She
Every
made the
single
not only
fucking
that, but she
time.
also like remembered too. Like and y'all weren't best friends, and that's like
No.
even more testament to her that y'all were just acquaintances.
Yeah.
And she still was like, "Hey, I remember Ricky. Like, I'm gonna go say hi to him. Like, what's up, bud?" Like that means a lot. Like that's a big deal.
It was super cool. I mean,
I've heard that she's one of the ones that like has not lost her, that hasn't lost her like small town spark. The thing that made her special, she hasn't lost that. And on the top of it, she hasn't lost just down to earth, just recognizing where I came from.
when she does interviews and stuff, you can tell she's answering questions right off her brain. She's
Not diplomatic, not
she's not
politician.
preparing for it. She's like she doesn't think about how do I need to answer this to make it sound like I'm answering it the right way. She just answers it.
I think she's smart about her answers, but she's answering
you
it
know
off the
what
top
I'm
of her
saying,
head.
though.
Yeah, she definitely puts thought into it, but it's not like how can I better myself or how can I promote.
Okay, you said
Yeah.
it much better than I said
Yeah.
it. That's what I was trying to say. It just didn't come out that
It's okay.
way. Dustin, did you find anything?
Yeah. So
What
course.
was do you remember what he's looking for?
you don't.
Hold on.
Facebook changed its name.
Facebook changed their
Facebook
name.
changed its name.
They've rebranded
go.
themselves.
They did. So
They are now the Book of the Faces.
No, they're called
Damn.
Meta, but they can't change their name on the actual Facebook because it's the app. So like there's app.
So did
Rulings that like
somebody-
keeps them from being able to change it.
Did Meta buy that?
No, it wasn't Meta. It was Mark that changed it because
Who's Mark? Mark
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
because they got such a bad rep on their business practices or something. I can't find the exact thing.
Okay,
Because
but you found that's
Google
what
doesn't
changed
want
their-
you to know exactly why they changed their name. I'm
No,
serious.
they don't want them to know
I'm
probably
telling you.
because they probably
Yeah.
did such
I'm
bad
telling you,
practices during.
That's exactly what
No,
it
no,
is.
no.
It's all pushing it, and so I'm trying because I heard why they changed it, but of course it didn't interest me that much. But so now whenever you Google it, you don't get everything. They're just like, oh no, they're just trying to be more, involved with other brands other than the Facebook name and yada yada yada. But there's a backstory on it, and
They're
did it
not
for a
giving up
reason.
their name just to give up their name.
Exactly.
Like they gave up their name because there was a freaking
They-
reason.
they
And don't
want-
let if anybody believes that they're doing it just to
Yeah.
Well, it
just-
sounds like they didn't give up their name. They just added a new one.
well,
they couldn't give up Facebook.
the whole
But
thing.
the fact that like who would drop a multi-billion-dollar thing? Like
Name.
no.
Because Mark's gone to court and everything else on.
That's why they're doing
shit.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now they're doing it because there's reason. They're
Yes,
not doing it
there's
just because they're like,
reason.
let me
Are you still
broaden
double-fisting?
my thing out to other people. No, fuck that.
Still double fisting over there, Ricky?
Kind of, yeah.
He got another
I
one. This
got
is the
it.
second double fist.
I got distracted by the lives because I feel like they're not fading in and out as much, and
Well, they're old.
It's
They
ironic
stay
that
on
I
all the
asked-
time.
it's ironic because
I asked
Shallbee-
to change it.
and I said you're gonna get distracted by the lights.
You go, you're not going to get distracted by the lights, are you? And I said,
Hey,
no,
you're
I'll
getting
be fine.
distracted
And
by
now
it.
I just got distracted. I realized they're not changing, but now they're changing.
they're
again.
changing. They've been changing the whole
They're
time.
old. They're old.
Okay, so one double fisting over here, one's not. Who's been distracted? Not
And
me.
you're still licking the pickle salt.
I'm still licking the pickle salt, and it's delicious.
I got pickle salt on mine as well.
Yes.
I've gone through that much in just this one beer.
damn.
My
I say this
tongue
one beer,
hurts.
but it's also been 2 of these. Like you said, I have been
two?
double.
It is a
fisting.
lot of coarse
Damn,
coarse
yeah,
rock
tr-
salt.
I took
triple
Shallbee's.
fist. Oh shit.
And yeah, so I drank mine, and then I drank Shallbee's because she didn't like it. Do
I did it.
Anyways,
you want to take a small break?
fun. yeah. I
Get
mean,
throw our sponsors out there, have some fun.
yeah.
I was
I
just
got to pee.
asked.
Hold on, your ass. What?
Nothing.
What were you asked? Go ahead. Let's see. We got a live ask.
No, it just simply
Simply.
that the website has what again on it? What are the links that it takes you
Okay,
to?
so you can go to simsandleon.com. That is strictly our website.
Right.
Right when you open it up, if you open it on a desktop, you need to click on the bottom right. There's a thing that says night mode. Click on that.
Don't understand it.
I don't understand it. I'm not a fucking web developer, but I created this little web page
Okay.
just for us.
Okay. So
It's
you
got-
did it.
There's multiple steps involved.
Super secret time. This is really fucked up. So originally I would joke and say the only thing on there is the email address.
Yeah,
And Dustin
you
was
would.
like, Dustin's
Super
like,
secret time. Dustin would get very, very upset with it.
That's not a secret.
and Dustin
I'll
was
leave that
like,
Non-secret
out
time.
open.
Very upset.
so I'm going to go out of secret time and tell you what's on there now.
We had
Not
to
the
change
email
it.
address.
Has it ever been on there?
Yes, at first.
The original website was literally just our names, your mom's favorite podcast, and our email address.
Yeah.
And now the email address
Super
is like
simple.
taken off.
Super simple.
It was simple website.
But then
And
when we had to
change it.
start getting our RSS feed, we couldn't use that website. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
So the one we're using now, and like I said, I'm not a web developer. I'm not trying to make a badass website for our page. If anybody else wants to, send me an email at simsandleon@gmail.com. That's
SIMSANDLEON@gmail.com.
please send us an email if you're a web developer and you want to partner with us, because that would be awesome. So
Then
right
you would
now,
have to go change it to night mode to actually see what the fuck's on there.
so right now, if you go to simsandleon.com, it's two links. It's a link. You see two things: iTunes and Spotify. So you just click on those, go straight to iTunes. Click on one, go
Are
straight to
those
Spotify.
the two main places to listen to the night podcast? Those are the two main.
Those are the two
main, yeah.
largest ones, but you can find it on almost any podcasting, whatever.
And then we have a Facebook as well.
Well, hold
Platform.
on. Let's finish the website. So then there's
I thought we
also-
were because I thought that's all that was on there.
Well, there's also a drop down menu where you can click on our partners. All
I gotta go pee.
right, Dustin's got to pee. I'll finish this and we'll take a break. Where you can click on our sponsors or our partners. It's sponsors, partners, and contributors. So we have like a link to Micah and Langley, a link to NTX Fire, a link to the Rebel Bar Girls.
Okay. So the sponsors.
And
Go ahead.
Elena's Facebook page. You can you pull that up, a new page comes up, you click on it, and there's also a thing for the episode. So if you want to listen to episodes directly from the website, you can.
I like
So
that.
SimsandLeon.com, you
Forrest
get
the
all
best.
your information.
Let's talk about next talking point will be if you haven't seen Carl the llama.
Okay, teaser.
Carl
We're
the
gonna
llama.
take a break, and then you're gonna bring us back in and talk about Carl the llama.
Carl.
So University Building Specialties is a family-owned and operated commercial door and hardware distributor. UBS specializes in hollow metal doors and frames, wood doors, finished hardware, and other miscellaneous specialty items. Our 20,000 square foot facility located in Fort Worth includes a hollow metal fabrication shop and a variety of stock inventory. UBS has ranked in the top 40 companies to work for in Fort Worth several years in a row, according to the Fort Worth Inc. magazine. Here at UBS, we strive to provide contractors with the best quality product and quickest turnaround time. For more information about our products or join our team of field installers, warehouse fabricators, office sales staff, or more, visit our website at ubsstores.com.
University Building Specialties, your mom's #1 supplier for butts, knobs, and knockers.
This episode also brought to you by 625 Custom Sports Apparel. 625 is a full-service design shop specializing in sports apparel. Their crew can do anything from a team or company logo to full-on uniforms. If you want shirts, koozies, hats, leggings, socks, 625 is who you want to use. They specialize in sports apparel but do so much more. If you want to get quality shirts for your team or maybe even a family reunion, you will get the best quality guys. Levi's can give you great apparel and create even better logos. 90% of my clothing line was created by 625 Custom Sports Apparel. Kickball teams, work shirts, and everyday clothing. Our guys over at NTX Fire wear 625 products because they love the comfort and quality of the material. Whether you're on the field or in construction, 625 apparel holds up. You can visit their website at vixxv.com for more information and to see their featured collections. There's also a link on our website, simsandleon.com, to get to theirs.
625 Design, your mom's #1 supplier of the Anti-Social Moms Club hoodie.
All right, we're going to talk about Carl the Cam, or whatever it was, but
Carl the llama.
we're not going to talk about Carl because
Not anymore.
Well-
Carl.
while we took our break and we're eating our chicken nuggies, we brought up that show on MTV from about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Damn.
My Life
Hold
as
on.
Liz. Oh, did it,
That hit hard for me.
that hit hard for y'all.
Because it's been 10 years since I've been in high school.
So like
Fuck.
last
11
last
for
segment,
Shallbee.
we talked about how I kind of went to high school with Kelly Clarkson. Y'all went to high school with Liz and whoever else is on this show.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched almost every episode.
I think
It's-
I did, but
so-
I don't remember what they were about.
So it was the show was about a girl that's in Burleson High School, oddly enough, and they picked her, and we're doing a semi-reality show about her life. Like I don't know how she got
There's
the
no
show.
reality at all.
That's why I said semi-reality.
It's just like no reality, just a show.
Yeah, but they wanted to make it look like it was somewhat reality.
Right.
Yeah, but you could, I mean, even with that, you could tell a lot of the stuff was scripted. Like, I don't remember much about the show, but y'all knew the people that were on the show. Like, y'all went to school with them.
I did. I actually went to school, or I actually played volleyball with her prior to her coming to
With
Burleson.
Liz.
To B-Town.
Yes.
So you played
So
with Liz.
I played volleyball with her when she was at a different school in a neighboring city, and then she her mother moved here, and then she ended up coming over, and I know that she was like nervous about it, whatnot, so she came over.
So you played volleyball with her in the school before she came to Burleson.
So I didn't play. We played club ball. So
Okay,
that's how we
yeah,
were able
so
to. We
it was-
played.
Y'all weren't playing.
It wasn't school ball.
Gotcha.
It was club ball to get ready for school ball. So it was a select league that we played on, and so you played with neighboring
select.
cities. Yes, I know. That's why I went to college on it.
Oh.
So, but all that being said, like I said, it wasn't reality. It was very difficult being a student at the same time as the show, because they played it. It would be different if they played it off as like, hey, this is a semi-reality. But they tried to play it off as this is the reality that we are all living, and everyone here is playing it.
Hold on. What do you mean by that?
When they promoted it, whenever the people that were in the show, like it was like the feel of the show, it was just bad editing and bad scripting
Producing.
and bad, yeah.
So when you say scripting, how much scripting was there that you knew of or that you could tell? Like,
So what I'm saying is that like it was bad enough to where like you said, you could tell
You
that
could
it
tell,
was
yeah.
semi, but that wasn't the point of it. It was supposed to be put off as this is reality of Burleson High
This is
School, like, and this is the
our life
Burleson,
as Liz. We're watching Liz.
right? And that was what bothered me is like,
What was the other girl on there?
Taylor.
Taylor.
She was in my grade.
Taylor what?
Terry.
Taylor Terry? Okay.
so like make it out to be this is a kind of.
So-
And I imagine that was the same thing for like
Yeah.
Laguna Beach and the OC and like stuff like that
Yeah,
that we
they were
used
all
to
probably the
watch.
same. And-
that was very similar. Like you're following the popular or semi-popular or people that just got in with MTV that made them
And
now popular.
you enjoy it if you're watching it and you're not part of it,
right.
even though we all know it's all kind of somewhat scripted. Even like the MTV Real World.
Right.
You could all tell some of that stuff was kind of scripted. Maybe not all.
You can tell that a lot of it. They
but
they scripted enough to where things spun off of it, and then you
Yeah.
get the reality. A
So-
lot of this, there was no like. Was there the relationship? Some of it, yes and no. So the part that like bothered me was that the place that one of the guys worked,
the malt shop.
the malt shop was closed down for years before that, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Like he didn't work at the malt shop. The place that he worked at was the same place I worked at, and my manager said, "Absolutely not. We will not have you in here. You will not be recording." He would show up late for work because he was having to do retakes. I talked to them a couple times. They're like, "Yeah, it got exhausting after like you're like, ooh, I have something exciting to tell you," and all of a sudden you're like, "I have something exciting to tell you," because you're retaking the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And so it got to a point where the people that I would hang out with no longer could hang out because they were filming, or there was just no like, if they would have recorded the part that like all of us were out there like in the cars, like in the parking lot, listening to all this different, like, that's where I found some of like the best music I listen to now was like literally listening with all the guys,
Yeah.
just hanging out after school for an hour or two.
And I feel like
But
when,
that never made it. It was the malt shop all of a sudden. You're like,
and I feel like when you're in high school, that's when you learn the type of music you really like.
yes,
And it has a lot to do with your friends, but you've picked these friends to be your friends. And
for a reason, right?
yeah, because y'all have some stuff in common and y'all all start liking the same music. And then you can introduce each other to a very similar music of what y'all have already liked.
Absolutely.
So that was in the show that ended up getting taken out.
Well, I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was taken out. I'm telling you
Oh,
that
you never watched it.
I never watched the show.
So I could go back and watch it again and you might be in there.
No.
Oh, no.
What I'm telling you is that before they started recording, that is how we used to do it. We used to be in the parking lot
okay.
hanging out. But I can tell you, there was never a TV crew that came and recorded the true parts of ours.
Yeah.
Him being at work with us and hanging out with us at work, that was never there. It was all of a sudden at the malt shop, and I was like, "You don't work at the malt shop." He's like, "I know, but that's the place we're able to do it," and blah blah blah. Okay, cool.
Because the malt shop was closed and they just rented it out just for this.
Oh, they like, if I remember correctly, they redid the malt shop inside. Like they had to like not just rent it out, but they had to like revamp it back up to like what it was because it'd been closed down.
So can we run back to Taylor Terry? Because if
I don't know
remember
much
this
about
correctly-
her.
Well, maybe Dustin will know. If I remember this correctly, is that her?
Yeah.
What does that say?
I don't know.
So if
All I know is that
I remember correctly, she kind of tried to steal the show. I'm not saying try to steal the show, but she kind of did.
Yeah,
Like
she
it focuses
tried
a lot on her and Liz trying to become her friend or be her friend. When me looking back at it, or me watching it at the time, I was like, "There's no way these two people would be friends."
no, they
Not just
wouldn't.
that, but they try to make her like out to be the cool kid, and
Who, Taylor or Liz?
Taylor to be like the cool girl that like everybody wanted to like
No,
be
she
in
thought she
friends,
was.
and then that she was this like huge bitch, and like at the end of the day, Taylor wasn't a bitch. Like Taylor was a very like,
So
from what I remember her as.
I never got the idea that she was a bitch on the show. Like when I watched it, I don't remember ever thinking that. I did think that it felt like she was like the popular girl that Liz was really trying to be friends with.
Now again, she was a grade younger, or two
But I
younger
don't.
than me.
I honestly
but
do not think she came off as.
I had known Taylor since elementary school. I known Taylor. So Taylor Terry was not her original name. Her dad was not Terry. Her last name was Anderson. It was Taylor Anderson whenever we were in elementary school. And in 5th grade, her mom got married to a guy. And she was adamant. I don't know what her relationship was with her father previously, but she was adamant.
Taylor was, or her mom
Taylor
was.
was about
Changing her name.
her name was changed because one day we had a substitute and it was during like roll and they said Taylor Anderson. She's like, my name's not Anderson, it's Terry. And they were like, okay, but on the sheet it says Anderson,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm gonna call you. And she made a big deal about it. And we were in 5th
so
grade.
did she ever get it legally changed, or was it
Yeah,
just?
no, it was legally
Okay.
changed, and that's what she kept on saying. I had the papers to prove it.
gotta-
And they're like, it's just on the paper.
Like, I'm so sorry.
I had no idea this is my first day in this class. I'm not trying to cause a scene here. I'm just trying to take roll.
I have an interesting side story that on our traveling kickball team that we had for a few years, one of our guys, Blake, took his stepdad's last name and legally changed his name to his stepdad's last name.
Okay.
And then right before he was getting married,
Nice.
I wouldn't say right before he was getting married. So at some point, his mom and his stepdad split up. Mm-hmm. And so we still had that last name.
And he wanted it to be back to his original name?
Before he got married, he changed his name back to his original name because he didn't want to carry that burden on further on into his wife's life and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, that's respectful to take his dad's name back or his mother's. Did he take his dad's
don't know.
original or his mom's maiden name?
I do not know.
Interesting.
I do not know. But I know that just the little process I know is he took his stepdad's name
That's
because
respectful of
his
him.
stepdad was like a father to him for the most part. And then I don't know if the split was bad or whatever, but I guess when it's not your actual dad, you lose a stepdad, you're probably less inclined to keep in touch with him.
Yeah.
Like you may like say hi and whatever every once in a while, wish him a Merry Christmas.
Well,
happy
your
birthday.
mother's still your primary, though.
Your mother's your primary. And if your mom, you don't want to disrespect your mother.
Absolutely.
Are you going to eat the whole thing?
No. I'm putting it back on
Just
the
slapping it
Dang.
on a new beer.
All right, so back to...
I like how you rolled the koozie down this time. You've gotten smart over it.
I know.
You've adapted and overcome.
You could just drink taller beers. All
That's true.
I do not need taller beers. I am good with
right,
what
so
I got.
back to Taylor Terry. She changed her name, got mad because they called her old last name.
Yeah, that's just type of attitude she had. Now, don't get me wrong, she was a nice friend to me. She would always come up, hug me. She was always just nice.
And I'll say this about this show. I don't think they portrayed anybody as like a bitch or an asshole. Like,
No, I just think that-
everybody was just friends. They were doing stuff together.
Like Shelby said, it just was not natural, and it was not
Yeah.
actual reality TV.
Well, then they like go through the school and they redecorate at times because they missed, like they needed to re-film certain parts. So we walk through and all of a sudden it's
Like you had the Valentine's Day thing.
yeah, we have Valentine's like months after, and you're like, the fuck, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're
Yeah.
filming.
Our
I
cousin
remember
was in
being
that
pushed
episode,
out
the
of
Valentine's Day episode.
Where they took
cousin.
her carnation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it carnation?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I
they took
remember
our cousin our carnation. I was like, oh, look, there's my cousin.
So I was in the broadcast department whenever MTV sent in like the thing of like,
Hold on. You need to explain a little bit. You were in the broadcast department of what?
so
School?
the high school had a broadcast department, so there was broadcasting. So
So what did y'all broadcast?
So we had our own
Elk
TV
News.
show. Yeah, like
Right.
it was an Elk News thing that would run.
She's like Troy
on
Nobbit
Friday.
in the morning.
That's fucking perfect. Yes.
but so they would have
it's
daily news.
Shelby and Troy in the
morning.
morning.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm sorry. I love that y'all are having this moment though. But it would, and we had TVs throughout the high school, and so it would constantly be on
Shallbee
the
and
reel.
Wiz in the morning.
So
Y'all have a
basically,
moment.
you became the morning announcements.
Well,
I wasn't on it, but yes, it was the
You were
morning
on the
announcement.
production side of it.
I was
Did you
in
get
broadcast,
headphones?
and so do what?
did you get headphones?
No,
Oh, so it wasn't
I mean
like
I
this.
did have headphones. I actually did a lot of. So I enjoyed
What
it.
was your job?
I was not part of the production of the show. I was part
Just in
of
the
the
class.
backgrounds of of
developing it.
She still has not said what her
I
job
know.
was.
I didn't have a job. There was also a class
This
that
was
you
a
could take
class.
for broadcast,
So you're in the
So there's
broadcast
like-
class.
Yeah.
30
Yes.
kids in there.
and that we also did some that if whatever you did that week was good enough, you could make it onto the one where it was like little like news anchors, and you could
So-
make like little news things.
Kind of like with Saturday Night Live, they pitched their
You
bit.
pitch your best, and if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't.
Okay.
I remember I was
You
in a
pitch your
soundproof
best.
room, and they could still yell at me because they're like, "We can hear you." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"It's
there's-
soundproof."
There's nothing soundproof to contain you.
Yes.
Well, I will
right.
tell you. So
We-
like,
we
so
know
like
that.
all of this was like from top to bottom in this like little tiny thing, plus
She's
like the
pointing at the
outside of
foam.
it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, the foam up that we've added to the
added.
studio.
I love that she's taking
acoustical
credit for
panels.
all the shit that we've
Yeah.
done in here.
When I say we, I mean like y'all have done it. I am part of we. We is part of y'all.
Thanks. All right.
Everything that we've done here.
Oh my God. Okay. Everybody knows that I have absolutely nothing to do with this except bringing like, I don't know, character and like good
Character.
times.
Character
But-
and good times.
I
Let
didn't.
the
Well,
good times
I didn't.
roll.
We didn't realize you had a history in broadcast until just now.
Well, you never
You always,
asked.
well, you always said that you were told that you needed to be in radio.
I was told that. I was. My personality and my voice is what everyone always tells me to.
You'd be the perfect weather lady.
I know. I lie all the
Or
time
would
and
you?
I always get it wrong. I have an
Lie.
ass on me though, so I can be in Mexico. Because them girls, they be wearing the, or was it Brazil? I think it is that they wear like
No,
the
it's
little like
Mexico.
skin tight
Probably
ones.
Brazil too.
Yeah. But-
Brazil, Colombia, Mexico. Those are all very. They love their
Newscasters.
newscasters,
Yeah, yeah,
female
because look at them.
newscasters.
Look at them.
Yeah.
They look great. I love her too. I
So
love
I'm-
them too.
I recently started watching Married with Children.
Oh my God, yes.
I used to watch as a kid. I don't know if my parents knew.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
might have
goodness.
known.
I watched it as a kid too, but my parents did know. We almost watched it as a family.
We did.
That's how great it was. And it's
There's times when they're like,
So
you
if-
could tell your parents were questioning, like we shouldn't leave it.
and,
You're like,
and
oh, fuck
so what's
it.
great about watching it now. I remember as a kid thinking it was kind of edgy, but it was just fun.
You didn't get it.
Yeah, and then watching it back again, a lot of shows you watch that
SpongeBob?
from your childhood when you watch a show, it doesn't hold up. Like you go back and
Yeah.
watch it again, and it's like it's just not as funny. It's kind of, but this one 100% holds up.
It's even better actually now because we're getting most of the jokes that we
understand.
didn't
Yes,
get then.
there's so many jokes. I vaguely remember Al not wanting to have sex with Peggy, and I didn't think it was that big of a thing. But the way he does it, he's like, ugh. And it's kind of the opposite of what like reality it
Right,
normally
which is the
That's-
funny part of
That's
it.
what makes it. So you have this horn dog mom of two.
And look at her too. Like
and
she's like
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just want Al to have sex with me. And oh my goodness.
And Al's like this like dweeby, like, let me sell you shoes type of guy. And you're like, get the fuck
And
out of here.
The way they make fun of him so much about you're a shoe salesman, and people are like, oh, adults can do that? Like they can actually be a shoe salesman?
And like make a living and like actually like come from this.
But one of the recent episodes I watched, Kelly, the daughter,
Yes.
became a weather girl just for that pure reason. And then the first time she comes up and she says she was sticking the clouds on the where they need to go, and they're
Right.
like, that needs to go all the way up to Oregon. So she's reaching up. She's dressed real skimpy. She's gorgeous.
Right, but she's also Kelly.
Christina Applegate is just gorgeous. She's just a beautiful person, and that is right around my age when I was like when I started liking girls. I'm like, this is
Right.
so that was probably
You
one of my
noticed her.
very
She was your girl
first
next door.
crushes.
Yeah.
And then she ends up going on there like the guy's talking after the weather's done. She's like, and by the way, just so y'all know, these clouds don't stick on just anything. She slaps on her forehead and it falls off. She comes back and she tells like, yeah, they the anchor man, because the neighbor across the street, she's single at the time, and she's like, maybe you can hook me up with the anchor man because he seems really nice. And she comes back, she's like, well, he seems nice, but he's really not, because just today he told us it's either me or the bimbo goes. And then Al gets excited because her getting that job overcame his $5 raise that he got. So he got a $5 a week raise as a shoe salesman. And he was very excited to tell everybody. And then Kelly came in with that news. So then he's bragging. He's like, oh, yeah. Who's the man now? who are you going to take tours of now? And if you watch the episode, that all makes sense. And then she goes, yeah, so they fired him. But then it goes back to her being the anchor and the broadcaster, and she's trying to read off the teleprompter, but she can't read. So,
Makes sense because she's a bimbo.
so then it fired her again. I don't know what got us on that subject.
No idea. Weather.
Broadcasting.
Oh yeah,
Broadcasting.
you were the weather. You were trying to be a weather girl.
Trying to be in high school.
Yeah, you have
False.
a
Is
background
False.
in broadcasting.
False. No, that is not at all what I said. I simply said I was in broadcasting. That was it. I took a class.
Yeah, took the class.
I took it 2 years.
Yeah, you said you could be a weather girl in like Colombia, Brazil,
Well,
or Mexico.
A lot of people were saying that she should get into broadcasting full time.
Yeah.
But she was just too chicken to do it.
I was.
I
I also
and-
didn't know. I didn't know the round to go into it, and so I thought about. Honestly, I did. So I actually had a possibility of going to Fox 4 News and actually start going there, but I didn't. And I should. I mean, granted, I'm in the career that I love and I want to be in, but I will say I missed an opportunity that could have taken me to a different round. But my best friend, she also did do it, and you got to put a lot of work into. And it's a lot of paying
And
your dues.
it's a lot of paying
you
your dues,
start
and
at a
you-
very low rate. You start at a low.
And you may never get out of that. That's the biggest
Exactly,
issue
and
because
that's the
there's
hardest
so
part.
many competing for that job.
And there's only so many
Jobs.
seats to sit
Yeah.
in front of a camera and or stand and go out there. So like my best friend, she worked in Dallas, and she actually did. She went down to Amarillo as well, and she had a lot of like on news the story. She was the one that was going out and doing stories and gathering them. But she was like, you don't understand how much like back work that is, like on the back side of things, of like actually having developed the story and then writing the script and then editing it and then making sure that the people follow through. And so if I ever were to do it, this would be the side I would do it on, is like podcasting or something like this, like on actual radio, more than I ever would on.
And just the few
News.
times we have recorded together with this, it's very easy to talk to you. I mean, you have we flow with conversation, you know?
Yeah,
She
it's-
fits in well with us.
Yeah.
But even before we ever started this podcast or even thought about doing this podcast,
We sit there for hours.
we
at
sit there
the-
for hours
right.
and it seems like we're there for 30 minutes. All of a sudden, our bar tab is $50.
And they're like, hey, you got to go. We've closed up, and they're like
it's
stacking
last-
chairs behind
yeah,
us. We're like,
like,
the fuck?
Last call was an hour ago, but we like y'all, but now y'all have to go.
We like you, but not more than our families. Get the fuck out.
So it's simple stuff like that where I could understand why people say you should be in broadcasting.
You know, my thing is though, I'd like for them to actually follow me around, kind of like how, like, to round this back to like my life as Liz. I wouldn't mind a TV crew following me around and like every day, because like I do some stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
I do some stupid shit, but I also like. I am doing some stuff to. My thing is, it would follow me and some other people, because like I am not interesting enough to carry a show
By yourself. You need your
But I do know my
surroundings.
people, and
Nobody
like
wants
with
to
y'all.
see a lonely cat lady just petting her.
Pet my cat. I mean, there are some people that might pay for that. Let's be clear.
We also forgot to mention that Elena had to go
Oh
do
yeah.
her shit.
Yeah.
She's like, do I need to come back on and say bye? And we're like, no, don't worry about it. We'll
We'll
take care
tell
of it.
them. We'll tell them you said bye. By the way, we forgot to tell her an hour later.
So she left a little bit ago. And we forgot
She's
to
not
tell
just
y'all.
being silent.
She said she might try to come back
She
on.
cooked us some chicken nuggets,
yeah,
and then she's like, I got to peace out.
yeah, she went to the studio kitchen, made us some nuggies and sweet potato fries, and was
Studio
like,
kitchen.
all right, y'all take care of the rest of the show. But I really enjoyed her being on. And she said if she gets her stuff done, she'll jump back on towards the end. But I don't think
she'll get it done.
I don't think
before
we'll
we're
we'll
done.
be still recording when she gets back.
But
So,
There's my life as Liz right there. That's where we started on.
it wasn't bad. My life with Liz wasn't bad, and it was fun to see them bring some light to Burleson, and it brought
That's-
some
so
like,
that's
it
what-
brought
that-
some stuff to it. And
yeah.
I didn't mind that part, and I don't mind the people. I don't think the people were being fake per se. I think that it was sad that they portrayed it the way that from what I feel, when they brought it to us, saying, "Hey, we have this opportunity to like submit your thing." They picked My Life as Liz because I'm pretty sure it was that. Remember that one show that was like 60 days.
Jersey Shore.
No.
Oh.
It was like 60 days, and you become like you take the nerd, and he becomes the jock. Or do you remember
I have
that
no
show?
clue. No.
Oh, what was it called? Will you look that up, Dustin?
Say it again.
It was the one on MTV where it's like you take the guy that wants to be like on the first chair flutist, and they make him that, or like the fat guy that wants to be flautist. Sorry,
I'm just.
what was it called? It was called like 60.
We don't.
I'm trying to Google it, but you haven't given me
haven't-
anything
you've
that
said
I
so
can
many different
actually
things.
Google.
No, like it's
So
literally
MTV
okay.
Was it
show.
MTV?
Okay, so it was MTV.
MTV 60 Days to Growing. Try type that in, see what happens.
It was 60 days, or it was like a certain amount of time that literally they would take them. If it was like the fat kid that wanted,
swear to God.
or I'm sorry, it was the larger kid.
No, you can say fat kid if he wants to lose weight.
60 days in?
Let me,
Well, possibly.
No.
this was like back in like whenever I was in high
This
school.
is,
So this was
this
like
is talking about undercover prisoners for 60
no,
days.
this was 2000 something.
One of my favorite things about my life as Liz was seeing the high school that I went to high school.
Yeah.
That's
So-
me. Well, not for you. You saw
So
the
it-
high school that you went to, but for
So
me,
what-
it was the high school I was
You were
going to.
So,
Currently.
but what
Yes.
so with that high school, my first 2 years of high school, I did not go to that high school. I
Yeah.
went to Burleson, but it was a different high school.
Yeah, he went
so
to
my
the
You
junior,
went to
Curb,
Curb,
yeah.
the old Curb on Johnson.
yeah, but that was BHS at the time.
Right.
So then my junior year is when the new high school opened up, and I went there. And so I spent my last 2 years at that high school, which is no longer the new high school because now there's another new high school.
Well, right.
So it was really cool to see.
It's
so
the
you
best
know,
high school, though.
You know that
I was
elk,
thinking-
that elk that's in the middle, that big bronze elk with the giant balls.
Yeah.
But the giant balls.
I sat on that elk once.
Oh, you got in trouble, didn't you?
Oh fuck no, I didn't get in trouble for anything. Do you know how I got my computer credit for high school? Back when you had to have a computer credit, I fixed their fucking email my junior year because their email wasn't working. They couldn't figure out their email and how to get everybody.
And yet you can't figure out your website.
And so
Hey, things
Shit
got a
was-
little more complicated. This was in
it
the
was a
90s,
lot
okay?
easier back then.
This was
Shit
in the
was a lot
90s.
easier. But I remember
one computer took up a whole room for you, didn't it?
I was it wasn't that bad, but I was in journalism, and our teacher couldn't get her email to work. He's like, "Yeah, nobody can." So let me look at it. So I fixed her settings, and it worked. And then they came to me like, "Can you fix the rest of our settings?" I was like,
So you said, well,
I was like, "What?"
For
And I
a
said-
small
that's
credit,
exactly what I said. I was like, "Can this count as my computer credit? Because I don't need to take a class of something I know more than y'all. If your computer teachers can't fix this problem, and you're asking me to."
That right there should have been your like negotiating in like business class too, because like that was brilliant. No,
don't
many people
have-
would have like known to like negotiate that moment.
Yeah.
The only decent story that I have from high school is I drove a pretty new truck. I say new.
Yeah.
It was brand new.
It was new.
And somebody
Pretty
keyed
new. It was
It was
like
very nice
but
too.
somebody keyed it in the parking lot. I didn't know who it was.
Oh,
And back to the My Life as Liz, Taylor Terry would park in the staff parking right there next to the building.
so frustrating every
All the
fucking day.
time. And
Her
so-
brand new fucking Hummer too.
Exactly. So you know what I did? After
And you
my
knew
truck
it was
got
her
keyed-
car. She was the only
exactly.
one.
The only one with a fucking new Hummer. You're right.
Right.
So you know what I did? After my truck got keyed, I parked it right there. Well, next thing you know,
They're telling you can't.
there's a fucking sticker sitting on my window.
Which was a ticket.
Exactly, $20. And so
for a high school student, that's a lot.
So this is what happened. So I go out there because I saw the sticker, and I was sitting there looking at the sticker, and the guy, the security guard driving around the S10 pickup, stops by, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's a sticker. You can't park there." I said, "Dude," and I pointed the Hummer. I was like, "This bitch has parked here for the past month." Hasn't gotten a sticker one. This is the first day for me to park there, only because I got keyed.
Taylor, the only reason he's calling you a bitch because he got
You're
a
right.
ticket. And
You're right. You know what,
We don't
Taylor?
really think
Super
you're
secret.
a bitch. We don't think you're a
You're
bitch.
not.
If
He's
you
already
wanna-
mentioned multiple times you're not a bitch.
If you want to come on the podcast,
If you wanna come on,
just send
come
us
on.
an email at
So-
simsandleon.com or simsandleon@gmail.com.
SIMS
ANDLEON@gmail.com.
ANDLEONS.
So-
Can't wait to hear from you.
Back to the story. Back to the story.
Hope you're doing well after my life as Liz.
So I approached this guy, okay, the security guard that's in the little
Aggressively?
S10.
I can't wait to tell you about our security guard.
because he gets on the walkie-talkie and he's like, "I got an aggressive student in the parking lot." I'm serious. And then next thing you know, we got 2 assistant principals coming, the school resource officer. Never once the whole time did they ask where I came from, where I was supposed to be. They were all concerned with why I was such an irate student. And I said, "I'm not irate. I'm just telling him he drives around this thing and doesn't do his job because my truck got keyed." "Well, I can't be everywhere at one point in time." "Well, yeah,
You were here to
that's
give me
true."
this ticket without
Exactly.
giving the ticket to the
That,
vehicle next to you.
and you have cameras here, and I called and asked about the cameras. "Well, the cameras don't point towards the parking lot. They point towards the entrances." So what's okay? Anyways,
I mean, for like an
I
active
parked
shooter
there.
reason, I could understand
well, thinking about it now, maybe, but this was back in like 2010. Like, come on.
that. School shootings happen then too.
Well, but hardly. So, anyways,
Columbine.
Okay.
Let's go back. Let's go Austin
Hold on.
shooting.
I
Let's
have
go.
another story
Okay.
about Columbine.
Let's like
All
let's
right.
be honest. Some major shit went down.
yeah, but
finish
you're
your
talking
story.
about Burleson, who didn't have any type of security. You could
Columbine
walk in the
didn't
building.
either until then.
Yeah,
So
you're
how-
right, but it was still 2010 or
I
2009.
get it, I
yeah,
get
when
it.
you're done with your story, I need to connect. I have a story that connects with BHS and Columbine. that
Well,
we
my
had
story's almost
Oh,
over,
shit.
other than the fact of that I was pissed and
they
I,
give you
and
the
I
ticket?
called him out. Yeah, I had to go pay for that shit or I couldn't graduate. $20, and it was the criminal justice guy that you had to go pay it to, and he's like, "Whoa, did you learn your lesson?"
Was
And I
that the
like,
criminal justice dude that also they found out was smuggling money?
Yeah, the one that got arrested.
Yeah.
Did
it
he learn
was.
his lesson?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
So apparently
really?
he was like taking money like out of like the funds or whatever, and was like buying himself new shit, buying himself like a new
So
truck.
my money that
Your money
That
went to
$20,
him.
that $20
Paid for a tank
Did you
of
learn your
gas.
lesson, son? Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I
So-
learned that I'm paying you
As
stuff.
he's putting the money in his pocket, and I didn't even.
He was
think
going
about
on
it.
vacations
So
and stuff through their money.
11 years before this, in 1999, is when I graduated high school.
Oh my god, I was 9 years old.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I know.
less than that, like 7.
I wasn't even born yet.
I understand.
I was
that.
born. I was born.
I completely understand this, but I graduated in '99,
Me
and
and Ricky still knew each other back then too.
we did know each other.
Because
Yeah.
he saw me fresh out of the womb.
Fresh out, like he still had like.
I
bloody-
held you.
So-
Ew,
What?
gross.
He was in the room.
I was in the room.
You were not.
I cut the umbilical cord.
You did not.
I did not.
Oh my god! I almost threw up just now.
She believed it like
She
we believed the
believed it.
squirrel.
I will tell you the two.
If knowing us now, it
Knowing
would not
all
surprise
now, I
you.
could see that. But I was thinking, I was like, I met your mother, Dustin. Your mother would not let him down there.
Hey,
So-
we've always been close.
But I could also imagine your
Our
mom.
family's very close.
Me and Ricky's always been close.
Don't let that catch on fire.
This one's like, oh shit, that's about to kill.
So in '99, I was in band, and
This was 9 years after you cut an umbilical cord.
Hold on.
7 years.
No.
Okay.
Me and my buddies were in charge of making a video for the band banquet, and normally in the past it's consisted of like a slideshow of pictures with music.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to do something different. Let's make a fucking movie.
Let's do it.
So we had a day.
You should. You know what you should have done for band? Made a God damn it. That was,
Let me tell you what we made, and then
hold
you
on.
can.
What's
you'll
that?
get
You
better.
should have done.
What's
yeah,
the thing
I
that
don't
people
know.
do for music videos? Damn, that was hard.
All that to say music video. I made a fucking movie,
Yeah.
and you're talking
All right,
about a music video.
Back to your
Because
story.
that's what you do with music.
Back
Is
to your
music
story.
videos.
So the normal thing was to do a slideshow of pictures with music in the background, which we also did that. But I was like, let's make a movie. So we had A day and B day, and then we had early morning practice on like B days. So
Did we have that in high school?
Yes.
We did?
Yes.
Your
and
split
hold
schedule.
that. Hold that because I have a story for A Day B Day.
All right.
So, well, you can tell your story.
You wanna tell yours
I can give
first?
mine. So, we decided to make a movie, and we called it the B Day Blues because on B days we had to go to band early because A day we had band in the morning, B days no band, so we had to show up at fucking 6:30 in the morning
had the
for
B-Day
band
Blues.
practice. So people had the B Day Blues, and me and
Oh, like blues is in
Like
do-do-do,
down.
Yes.
do-do-do, but also being sad because you have to wake up
so
early.
one thing we did
Makes sense, I
and
see that.
this was we made this movie before Columbine happened, but
I swear to God.
we were also had the great idea of let's wear trench coats in this because one guy's a detective and then we're kind of gangsters. That was the thing. We're
I
gangsters.
feel like this is not going to age well.
We recorded on cemetery trails where we took my Jeep out there and we had a fight scene and it was funny. So that year's theme, marching band theme was Star Wars. So it started off with the Star Wars theme coming in there. And then we jumped straight into the B-Day Blues and our plan was to have stuff going in and out. But there was one scene in there that turned out so hilarious. Well, there's one, our band director, we have him up there acting like he's directing band. And then I'm behind him holding a gun, wearing a fucking trench coat
A gun.
with a gun pointing at him. It was only BB guns, but pointing at him as we're going through. And because our goal is to bust the B-Day guys that skip the B-Day practice.
Wait, they allowed y'all to have guns in this video and show it?
Hold on. So then another video
It's
is
a different
Like,
time.
there was no distaste
It was a
at
different
all.
time.
Yeah.
so
My God.
another shot we
I'm
did
clearly
was
a millennial.
we had a still camera that was on a tripod shooting down, and we did it cartoon style where I think they're chasing me. Like me and another guy are the bad guys, and then we have two guys that are good. They're chasing us, And so we go from one side to the hall to the other, and we hide behind something. But then, like a cartoon would do, where you're here, but then all of a sudden you're coming from here, from a different spot. So the location you were last at, you come from a different spot. So we're running back and forth. He can't figure out where we're at because we've tricked him. But at the same time, we're wearing fucking trench coats, holding guns in a high school. We edited the movie.
Didn't age well.
We edited this movie using 2 8mm cameras, 2 stereos, and a bunch of wires all connected together.
Did your cameras like you just set them on like your shoulder?
They were small. Like I said, they were 8mm cameras. They were small.
Did you learn that in broadcast?
I literally just said they were 8mm cameras.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I've heard the phrase before.
Yeah, it's a smaller.
I can't
smaller
picture.
roll.
I don't know if that's a VHS or if
yeah.
that's.
It's not a VHS.
Do you have to charge the front of it to like get the flash to go?
No, it's video.
Oh.
It does video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does video. So we do this whole thing, and I still have the movie. We could watch it.
Yes.
We should watch it. I want to watch it.
1000%. You bring it over next time.
Okay, we can definitely watch it.
Oh my god! Yay, movie!
And, so we come up with
really
this, and
wanna see it.
Me too.
and I think it turned out really good. Like, obviously, it's cheesy because it's a bunch of high school
Well, of
kids
course.
making a silly movie about a band thing,
Chasing down the blues of
Yeah.
like,
Blues of the B-Day.
like
B-Day
trying to
movie.
figure out, and there's so much that went into it. Me and my buddies that worked on it together, it was so much fun. And then literally 3 days before the band banquet is when Columbine happened.
And you're like,
With
yeah, we're not
those-
showing this shit.
With those guys in the trench coats, and we had already showed our band directors the movie. Like, make sure it's okay if y'all like it. We're gonna play it, and they loved it. Then that
And they were
happened,
like-
and they were like,
Yeah.
"I think it's probably a bad idea because y'all are in trench coats."
Well, let's just talk about you
With
have
guns.
guns inside the school.
running around the school with guns.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
So we never got to air it. I mean, nobody. There's a very small handful of people that have ever seen this little movie.
Well, I hope to Dustin and I be the people that get to see it too. We'll add to that because I am excited.
I want to see it.
Okay,
Just to see what it looks
I'll get the tape. And I have a
Roll it.
I still
Roll
have,
the tape.
I still have the camera, the 8mm camera that we can hook up. The only problem with it is it shuts down after a while, so it may take multiple sittings to watch it, unless we can find some kind of 8mm.
I mean, we've been
player
here
or
for
whatever.
4 hours as it is, so I think we have plenty of time.
Touche. So one of the things you'll hate this, Dustin.
Oh, we could actually watch it and air it.
Oh, we can.
There's definitely some music in there. We'd have to silence out. That's
We'll
okay.
figure it out. Anyways,
You'll hate this because
hate
the guy who you don't like that was yelling at you that like got the instructor or the teachers out. The come on, I'm spacing. The
Back in
security
high school?
guard,
Security
yeah,
guy, yeah.
the security guard that went around gave you a ticket or whatnot. Well, he never gave me a ticket because there would be
course he
days that
didn't.
I came in late and that I would park up there. He would tell me not to do it, but he wouldn't give me a ticket. But the best part about it is
Oh,
that
I'm so glad that this still happened 10 years after me because I did the same shit.
yeah, you're coming late. So and then there was like a sports side that if you were played sports, you could play or you could park over
you can
there.
Park back there. Yeah.
And so I played sports. Of
I was
course,
on the
and
band
so-
side. The band side, we had our
Band
own
side,
side.
yeah.
Yeah, but y'all they never fucked with y'all over there. They were just like let the nerds do their thing.
So
Still.
hold on. When I was in band, it was before it was expanded on. So there was a long
okay.
driveway up to it, and I would literally park at the doors, the entrance. I would
literally, like
drive
you got
up-
out and just walked inside.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
And like people tell me you can't do like, and I would say there's not a no parking sign here.
right.
And
Tell me where I can't,
they
and
would-
tell me where like what. Like,
they-
bring
yeah.
in the thing that says "Don't
Yeah.
park here," and then I won't do it anymore.
And
But
they,
right now,
they could never do anything to me because it was not an illegal parking spot apparently because I never got a ticket or anything.
Right.
And one day my buddy Eli locked his keys in his car and he's like, "Hey, can I use your car to run and get keys from my house?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Where you park?" He's like, "Right outside that door." He's like what on what spot? I was
you're like, no,
right outside that door.
Literally
just
walk out,
outside
hit
the
it.
door. And this was before.
but don't open the door too quick because you'll hit my car.
Yeah,
door.
and we're so old that we didn't have cell phones, so we had pagers.
right.
So it's not like he could just call me or
Oh,
anything.
that's a
But
whole nother
I was
subject.
right after
Yeah.
pagers. I was right after it. I was the one that like with the Nokia that you like
The
you went
little
to the
rig?
mall. No.
Yeah.
You went to the mall and you got the like the different covers for it. Like,
Yeah.
like the kiosk where they had the covers. Yeah.
yeah. And so when Eli came back, he's like, "I thought you were joking about right outside the door, but I parked
I
it
ran
there."
into it.
He's like, I parked
parked
it
it
right
back.
back where it was. I was like, "Thank you." And nobody understood that. Every time I parked there, it was like, "You can't park here." It's like, I don't.
Tell me who. Tell me who's gonna
Nobody
get
says
me in
I can't.
trouble.
I never got in trouble for it. The only time I ever got in trouble. So our
Well, that was before the damn orange stickers.
Dude, yeah.
Bastards.
might have been before the orange stickers. Our she lived in a booth
Under
at the
seat.
front entrance of the parking lot.
You talking about the security lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the old high
Lived
school,
in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
this crazy
Or
bitch.
she worked it. Maybe
So-
that's not
Well, it sounds like she lived there.
At the old high school, we didn't have those gates that closed it off.
Right.
So if people were coming in late, she would literally jump on their cars and tell them to stop.
No.
Yes.
That sounds
Like
like,
I said,
a
so-
job for Shallbee.
I was in journalism, and one of our things
That's workman's comp right there.
one of the things we did in the last year at the old high school, when I was in journalism, the newspaper was doing a story on Halloween about the parking lot troll, and my job was to take a picture of the booth that she lived in and make it look kind of scary. So I got weird angles, but they moved her booth to the new high school. Like they didn't build her a new one. They just moved the old one there.
We spent too much money.
But
on
we
this.
had, but then we had the gates on there, and the way it's set up, the main entrance had hers, and then where the band entrance was, nobody was ever over there.
Yeah.
So I could just come in whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
And then one day I came in because towards the end of my senior year, I stopped going to band altogether because there was no point. Like I had all my credits. This. I've already been accepted to all the colleges I wanted to go to, which is just one. I had no need to go to this band class anymore. It was a waste of my time.
Right.
I would just literally just be going. So I'd come in later. They had the gate closed. I had a Jeep at the time, and I would just drive around.
Yeah.
Drive around it. It was no big deal.
Yeah. And it's still like that. There's still just
Yeah.
gates. You can still go around it.
Easily go around it. Like I said, I had a Jeep, but I could have done it in any car.
Yeah.
Like my car now.
Well, maybe not a Civic, but
One day they stopped me. It was like, you can't go around this gate. I was like, I mean, I do it all the time. And they took my driver's license.
Well, they have the right to do that.
It was like, they took my driver's license. Like, all right. And I still parked up where I park all the time, right by the fucking doors. And then I go into the. So another really funny thing is counselors and assistant principals were parents of my friends.
So that you were never in trouble.
It's not that I was never in trouble, is they understood me.
Yeah.
They understood me that I'm not doing this to be an asshole and destroy property. I'm just doing this because it's who I am.
Right.
Like the only person it affects is me. I'm not a jerk. I'm not a dick.
Right.
I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm not bringing trouble onto other people. So
Right.
they were always cool with me, and they came in there and they brought the officer in there. I can't remember who it was, or even if it was an actual officer. And they were asking, and he's like, "Well, why'd you drive around the gate like that?" I was like, "Because it was closed."
Yeah.
Like, well,
Well, what am I supposed to do, sir? You want me to not
Yeah.
come to school, or do you
Like-
want me to find a way to get to class?
I'm skipping first period. You want me to skip all day? Because I will.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Granted, if you tell me not to do it again, I promise I will not do it again, and I will not make it to work or
And then
school.
I remember my buddy's mom. Like,
Damn, I'm 5 minutes late. Won't make it. Gotta stay home,
my
Mom.
buddy's mom literally grabbed the license from the officer and handed it to me. Was like, "Just try to be here before the gates close." I was like, "I'll try, but if I'm not, I might go around them." But they're all really cool to me. I don't know how did I turn that story back to me?
No
I don't
idea.
remember.
I have no idea.
We made a story. We made a movie.
No, so the thing
Really
I made a
parking lot.
comment about is that like he was gonna hate the fact that I actually made friends with the security guard.
Okay.
So I parked in the place that I always parked in, and I parked half the time. Half the time was in my actual parking spot. But if I was running late or like close to being late, I was like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to park in the back.
It's probably all the time.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
she's always
Shallbee.
late. She's
And
Shallbee
so
late.
I parked closer some days to make it actually on time, and they wouldn't give me a citation or whatever you call it, a ticket or whatever.
A school ticket.
But so I
Yeah,
made
a
friends.
sticker.
I made friends with them. So there was a booth at the front, like you were talking about, and there was only one spot open if anybody wanted visitors or anybody wanted to come in.
So
there
do
was only
y'all
one
have
gate.
assigned parking?
Yes. So no, we did for the seniors. Actually, no, everybody did. Everybody did. You could only, for the seniors, are the ones that could paint their parking spot. That was like your privilege for your senior year.
Okay.
But the rest of you, you had a parking spot so that if there was something like a keen happened or something like that next to your car, you would know what car like did it
I think
next to
our
you.
year it changed because y'all left and the new high school was about to open up, and so they made it free for all basically. Where
Fuck
there
that.
wasn't.
So yeah, when it first opened up, it was a free for all.
Yeah.
No, so for
This is
ours
what-
it was
but what
we
was it?
had assigned
They put a
assigned
fence-
parking
So
for sure.
what was
Fence straight down the middle of it so that people couldn't just drive all the way across because that's what we would do.
So what was great about mine when I was there, we had our band side parking because band people had to be there early for band practice.
Mm-hmm.
So we had our own parking area that we were allowed to park on the other side with all the other people, with all the other
Mm-hmm.
students, but nobody else could park on the band side unless you had a band sticker.
Right.
So I mean, I guess that was kind of cool. So-
Profiling.
but it was literally just a row of parking spots, which I never showed up early enough to get one of those spots.
Well, that's what it sounds like.
That's why I parked by the door.
Yeah, you weren't even there early enough to get the fucking gates
Exactly.
open.
That's what I was about to say.
I was a good band person for the most part. Just towards the end, I stopped caring.
Do you remember when Burleson Pizza Company was open?
Yeah.
Right there next to the Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Crab.
I literally.
It was Mama's Pizza too, huh?
It was, but the best one was Burleson Pizza Company.
There's.
No, I remember it.
I just noticed this yesterday. I have a magnet on the side of my fridge of Burleson Pizza Company.
Okay, well, yeah, it's amazing because that place was the best pizza, and
The best.
And my best friend and I, when we were in high school, circling back to the A Day, B Day that you were talking about, you were like, "Did y'all still have that?" And we did. And I know this like blatantly because when you were fighting your B Day blues, Aaron and I were very happy because it was B Day, and we had the same lunch day or like the lunch period. And
What time was your lunch?
oh, I don't remember. I could not tell you that. I barely know when I went to class. I went to class, but I don't details.
Yeah.
However, we would order Burleson Pizza Company every B Day for like what it was. I think it was our
Like
junior or senior year.
Like have it delivered to the school?
Have it delivered. And at first they were like, "Yeah, you can't do this." And I was like, "Well." So then,
First, it's a school. It's not like a stadium where you can't bring your own food.
right? They were like, "Well, no." They were like, "You can't have off campus. You can't go. You can't." That was what they said.
You
They're
can't go off
You can't go
campus.
off campus. I said,
I'm
"Well,
not.
we didn't go off campus."
I'm bringing off campus.
And they're like, "Well, you can't have off campus food." I said, "That's not what it says." And we were like, "No, that's not what that says. It says you can't go off campus. And if you want to play word games, this bitch right here is willing to play word games with you. And your rules say we cannot go off campus for lunch. Nothing about bringing off campus food." And I used it as, what happens if my dad or my mom wants to come and eat with me? You're allowed that, right? And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "And they bring food? That's okay." I said, "This is my dad." And the guy's looking at me. He's like, "I'm not her dad." Like, what? Like, that's not true.
Like a little Asian guy. Is like,
Yeah, he's like, I come up to her thigh, like I am not her father. No, and so the guy, I offered him a piece of pizza, and he would take a piece to everyone. I was like, anytime they come in. So there was the first time Aaron and I like we sprinted to the front because we told them, like, when we sent the order in, we were like, call us and tell your deliver to come to the side door, and like we explained it to him, which like side of the what street it was backed up to. We're like, "Come to the side door. It's the athletic one. It will say athletic," because that was where our locker room was, and we'd eat in the locker room. And so we would run to the locker room one and like prop it open for him. Well, he finally figured it out, but the first time he did it, and he went straight to the front thing, and we're watching, and we're like, "No!" So we are like sprinting through the school trying to get up there. We're like peeking over, and I'm pretty sure I'm hiding behind like the Elks' big balls, like peeking down underneath.
Did
it.
they cut those off though?
No.
I don't think they ever did.
No,
you sure?
no, they're brass. They're
'Cause
like
they
they're not
made-
cutting shit off.
They made a big
Oh, you
deal
can cut
about
some
it.
brass nuts off. I'm just saying.
When they first put him out there,
They
they
were
made,
cutting these
made
off.
a big deal about it because he had such huge nuts, and they
You're
were
like, this is realistic.
But it was that it's anatomically correct. So what's wrong with it?
Like if I made them like shriveled up little baby balls, we'd be like, "The fuck is wrong with this dude?"
And we're fucking Elks. We don't want to have a little ball fucking mascot.
Not only that, like I didn't put a cock
I want-
hanging down there.
I want
You didn't
somebody-
put this like raging hard like dick like hanging down. Like it's balls, mom. Like calm down.
Yeah, I want the fucking Clee-Billies to walk in there and see those big balls like, "Oh shit, Burleson got some balls."
Not only that,
B-billies.
but like. You know, it was the mothers that were offended. The dads
mamas.
weren't. The dads weren't like, "Oh
dads
my
were like,
god!"
"Fuck yeah."
The dads were like, "Yeah, there's some balls." The moms were like, "Oh my!" I'm like, "Mom, you've
like,
never seen balls this big, or you don't know what to do
Oh
with
my
them.
god,
Like,
I
sit
don't want
down."
my kids to see these balls on this fucking animal.
And you're like, "Mom, let me say to you, the girls have already seen like half the guys here, and the guys have seen every one of them because they already know what their balls look like." And they
So
all,
again, when we're in the locker room taking showers, we're not staring at each other's balls.
you can't
and
tell me
dick.
you've never seen another set of balls or dick.
Oh, absolutely, I cannot tell you that.
Exactly. So that's I'm not saying you're sitting there staring, but you've seen them. It's not like
No,
the
no,
fact
no,
that like
no,
these,
no.
these
Hold on.
mothers. No. I'm not saying you're inspecting them and you could never tell me who's look like what. What I'm saying though is like these moms are like, "My son should never see balls like that," and you're like, "Calm the fuck down. Your son changes and showers with other dudes. Like, chances are he's accidentally glanced at a set of balls before. Like just
They weren't
glanced
that
at it.
big as the Elks.
Maybe not, but like they shouldn't
were
be
they?
because they're a fucking elk and you're a 10-year-old or not. How old are y'all? 15.
14,
Y'all,
15, yeah.
I don't
14.
always think y'all. You was there.
I was not there.
You was a high schooler at once.
I was not dressing in the
And
boys'
you might
locker
have had
room.
bigger balls than half of
I
them.
probably did.
Oh, when we started doing locker room stuff, probably about 12, 13, yeah.
Exactly. So from 12 years old,
But you don't notice, you don't look at stuff when you're that age.
that's
Or
what
at
I'm
least
saying.
I
Like, but
didn't.
you've seen them. You didn't realize you were seeing it because they were still shriveled up in the head and
I'm
dropped
trying to
yet.
think about this. It was always in your peripheral.
Yeah.
Because you can't control that, but it's never like you went in there and started inspecting.
Hey, that's what I'm
But-
saying.
I know,
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
You're not looking, but like,
But then
like,
you-
like imagine
So I'm
this.
gonna
Like
take a- I'm
imagine
gonna
you
take a
drop
weird
something
turn.
and you just kind of like go like this, and like the guy, someone's walking by, and you're just like, okay, and, like you're not looking at it like, hey, that's a set of bowls
Either
right
that
there.
or
First of all, if you drop something in the shower, that something is gone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
that
So
something's
you never
gone.
walked around
You
like you
better
never
find you
walked from your
something else.
shower to your locker like without clothes on.
No, you did all the time, but your eyes are up here. You're not looking
Right.
down.
I'm saying like at your locker if you drop something and
But
you
there's
like.
always that one guy that says, "Man, this guy's got."
Actually, no. Let's
How
play.
is it possible that of the 3 episodes we've done with her, 2 of them ended up in fucking locker room dick talk?
I'm just happy
Like,
that only 2 of them
literally.
have.
Stop
Not
it.
the third one.
All I'm saying is that you can't tell me no guy like ever in a locker room has ever been like,
No,
look,
no, no.
helicopter, walk, walk, walk.
Oh,
walk.
okay.
Jesus
You're right.
Balls,
Christ.
balls,
You're
right
100%
there.
right.
Exactly,
But no, you don't see balls on that one. The balls are covered up. There's also the one where it's a wristwatch.
exactly.
Yeah,
y'all play stupid games. I've seen.
you're
I've
right.
seen waiting. Okay, like
No, and
you've
that,
seen balls.
That is 100% true because it doesn't matter what size dick or balls you have. It's always a funny joke if you can make someone look at it.
exactly.
And
Then you've answered. Like, How
Yeah.
did you even argue with me at
No,
any
I'll-
point? That
because
never-
I said for sure I cannot say that I've never seen balls.
Right.
But in my mind, I was like, I never
I
never looked at balls while I was in the locker room.
No, and I don't think you
when-
ever looked.
But the more we talked about it, I realized like, yeah, we played bits with each other. We
Right.
made jokes with each other.
They have been
forcing
seen.
each other. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that. My thing is like, are you looking for it? No, but have you seen it? Yes. For me, like I don't. I can't answer that. Never mind. I can't truthfully say the statement I was about to say. Like I've never looked at, and I'm like, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
If I were in the locker room, I'd definitely be looking at every single one, like men or women. I'd be like,
Even if I was in a
I would.
women's locker room, I still think I would just try to maintain eye contact because I don't want
actually, to be honest, yes, but I think like if I were a female in a male's locker room, it would just be like, and the guys were willing to walk around without like anything on. I think that they would be expecting me to be looking. Like they're not going to be like, you better
no.
look up here.
They would not
My
be-
eyes are here, ma'am.
No. They would not be expecting you to be looking. They would be wanting you to be looking
True.
and be excited.
For
once you
women,
did.
when I'm in the women's locker room, I don't like. We all make eye contact and like, or no contact at all. Like we just kind of
Yeah, and I feel like-
but we also walk around. I can tell you like all the times I've ever been in a women's locker room, one, we don't shower in the locker room. Like it's very I seldom. If it's a main big one where there's no stalls, if there's stalls, we will, but we dress in the locker room or in the shower. Like we're putting at least like our like major clothes back on in there, or like the like compromising ones.
Hold on, I'm confused. You started this off by saying you don't shower.
For the most part, we do not shower in locker rooms because most of them were the
Community
community
showers.
ones
That's
where there were
all-
no stalls. For the women though, they're like as
are
I
you
got
scared
older, it wasn't scared of. It was just modesty. It was just modesty.
Not a goddamn thing modest about you.
No, but like as you cannot question the fact that growing up, men are taught a different modesty than women are. Y'all walk around without a shirt on, and then half the time it's like, look at my dick. Woo! For women,
Hold on, no, half the time. Never at any point in my life, half the time I have had my dick. I was like, look at this motherfucker. Look at this little dick.
no, but like even as kids though, like y'all would run around like babies and like toddlers, y'all run around without pants on, and it's funny. For like, but for young girls though, like, but the thing is, at what point? Let's okay. Let me move past that
I
statement.
feel like she's just kind of wandering off on her own little thing and isn't quite making sense anymore.
Yeah.
No, wait, just listen. Like I said, past
Linda.
that point, going to the point that women have always been taught at a younger age and throughout to
Okay.
be more modest, to cover up, to like keep your body concealed.
And when we're kids,
And as kids,
we
it's
pee
like
outside.
y'all pee outside. Y'all still do. From kids to now, y'all do.
Yeah. It's Mother Nature's.
At a later
original-
age, are y'all told to put clothing on, like more clothing than women are? Like ours is like, oh, put a shirt on, honey, put a shirt on. Like keep it.
Yeah.
No, don't. And like guys like run, like the bullies run around and they're like, oh, look at my boy just being silly, right? Like if y'all were to get dirty, they like strip you down real quick and throw your clothes back on. But for girls, they'll take you and they'll like cover you up. So from a young age, we are taught to keep our bodies concealed, and that's not a bad thing. That's
No, but
it's
I
a moral
get
compass.
that. It makes sense. I never thought about it this way because you're right. As kids, it didn't matter what we did.
Yeah.
Like especially for me, I was like shirt off, all summer long, shirt off.
Right.
Like you said, we pee outside. Or I said it. We pee outside even to this day.
Right.
Like that.
But if like a woman were to pee outside, like men would like lose their fucking minds. Like,
I wouldn't.
yes, you
would
would.
not.
Yes, you
No.
would. If I walked out to your backyard and just popped a fucking squat and just started pissing,
I would expect it of you.
I also would expect of you. I've hung around plenty of girls that have peed outside. We have a friend
saying-
that's on our kickball team. We call. I don't want to say her name.
it's seldom though.
Well,
it's not one
you're
that
right.
you notice.
Hold
Not-
on.
not-
no,
and
this
then-
is
you're
a great
right.
one.
I agree with you.
So she is one of the most awesomest peoples I've ever met, and she's on our kickball or the kickball team I used to be a part of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm taking Spanish lessons, so I can't figure out the we, me, you thing. And she,
You haven't spoke Spanish your whole life, bro. Like you just figured it out. Like this isn't like this is my
ain't
second
taking no
language. This is
lessons.
your first language, you asshat. Continue.
and we call it the SnL crawl. Her name, the SnL crawl, and she will literally do it in front of everybody, where she gets down basically in a crab walk, pulls down her pants, and just starts peeing and crab walking forward. So it just
Absolutely
it's
not.
it's a SnL trail behind her.
You would never see me do that.
And I've had plenty of friends
No.
that have peed out, plenty of female friends that have peed outside, and I have no judgment.
Yes, I agree. A lot of people do though. Like I will tell you, I've
Well, you know,
peed
yeah.
outside. I've peed outside plenty of times. Like when I'm drunk and you like lock your car door, you hold the handle, lean back, and you go to the bathroom. And they're like, "Oh my god!" And you're like, "I saw you do it on the fucking tire. Like you were peeing on the tire and writing your name. Like I saw your name. Like what do you mean?" And like the guys are like, "Well, I can do it. You can't." And I'm like,
No,
"Okay,
that's bullshit. I
that
would
is
never.
bullshit.
That is
Exactly.
100%
Most-
bullshit.
you're right.
Any guy that says that is insecure about himself.
yes." Yes.
100% they're insecure
and they're
about
just
themselves.
insecure about like
They're insecure about their masculinity because
Yes.
they want to have that power.
the gender role of that.
They're
yes.
like, I can do this. You can't. No,
Right.
bullshit. Anybody who wants to pee outside needs to be able to pee outside.
I agreed.
Now-
If you want to take a shit outside, you should probably think that through. Like I stop it at shitting.
Super secret.
I don't want to hear the super secret. No, don't say it. Don't make me look at you differently. Well, let me take my headset off. Hold on. Go.
You can still hear
I
it.
can hear it.
Oh, she's
I once took a shit in my backyard.
Feel it out.
So let me tell you the parameters.
parameters.
Yeah, your fence line.
The water.
Oh, you said parameters, not perimeter.
Hold
My
on.
bad.
The water was shut off because Hitty was doing stuff outside.
That's different.
And me and my dog Lucky lived in my house, just me and him.
Oh, this
And
is
I'm like,
recent.
No.
Oh, okay.
Lucky's been gone for over
If you knew
12
Ricky,
years.
you would know that
Oh.
Lucky was no longer alive.
Yeah. So it
I
was
thought you
me
said
and Lucky.
lady.
No,
I said Lucky.
My bad.
So me and Lucky are there, and I was like, I really got to take a shit, and I don't want to shit in this toilet and not be able to flush it.
Oh yeah. See,
So
this
my
makes it
idea-
okay. This makes it okay.
My idea is like, I'm going to take a
Ish.
shit in the backyard, and
You get in the car and you go find a place to shit, bro.
Hey, you tell Lucky, hey,
I don't
you should cover
like
it
to
up.
drink and drive.
Okay,
So
then you get a shovel.
I'm in the backyard, and I pooped outside before, like camping and stuff. We'll have a bucket that with a hole where like we poop and then we
right,
put dirt in it.
Right.
So I take a bucket with me, but I'm not
Lucky's
pooping
looking
in
at
the
you
bucket.
like, you motherfucker,
This is
my
exactly
spot.
what happened. Lucky comes outside with me, and it's very awkward to figure out how you're going to poop in the backyard.
And then also making sure
It's-
neighbors can't see
It's
you.
very
and-
well. I have
He's got
privacy fence.
fences
Okay,
all
good.
around.
Yeah, so it's very awkward to figure out how you're going to poop because it's not like
Did you feel exposed at all? Like when you like did drop trout? Like did you feel like even though you know you have
So-
privacy fence, you still feel like I'm outside doing this? Like I shouldn't be.
I don't think so. Just because, like I said,
Drunk.
I don't drink and drive.
If sober,
that's
you
why-
probably would feel that way.
That's why I was in the predicament that I was. So I finally figured out how I'm gonna, and I can't even tell you what stance I took. But I did take a stance.
It was a clean stance,
and
though.
Shit came out of the hole. And
What? Your ass is what you
yeah,
did.
my asshole.
Go ahead.
And then I remember while I'm pooping, and you don't
Lucky's looking
you
at
don't realize how much shame you have until you're pooping outside with
dog.
wide open surroundings to where anybody could be back there. You
Your
don't
dog.
realize how wide, because normally you're shitting in a bathroom, which is an enclosed space. And
No
then
one can see.
once you're actually out there, it's like, golly, like God's definitely watching me right now. And then I look over and Lucky's giving me that look of shame. It's like, I can't believe you are doing this in my fucking yard. Like, this is where I poop. You poop inside, I poop outside. You get mad at me if I poop inside. I get mad at you when you poop outside.
Dad, I never thought I'd have to tell you this before. This is mine.
What the hell you
Motherfucker
doing?
comes over with a newspaper in his mouth or slapping me with it.
Him spray bottle.
Clean
spray.
that shit up.
Trying to rub my nose in it. It's like, this is my yard.
I could just imagine him like after you finish looking at you as he's like trying to do like the back, like, you know, like when they do like the back, like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I
He's trying to
should've done.
cover his
I
shit
should have
up.
been done. Is like,
He's like,
he's
so-
covering it up.
I'll tell you this: when you're in the nature like that, pooping, the wiping is the hardest part.
Did you not bring tissue paper with you?
No, I did,
How's that hard then?
because you're already trying to balance yourself because you're not sitting on anything.
you didn't stand back up?
Do you stand up after you poop and then wipe?
I do.
Hold on, this is a new concept to me. Hold on. No, I normally do not stand up after I poop and then wipe.
This is taking a turn. Okay.
Okay, how do you wipe your
I don't
ass?
talk about my.
All right, simsandleon.com. Find us on our Facebook page, Your Mom's Favorite Podcast.
The Gmail.
Yeah, simsandleon@gmail.com.
Just
Find us on
find
iTunes and
us.
Spotify. Love y'all.
Oh.
Okay, bye.